Mike says you got a lot of red on the ticker there, Drew.
Oh, there's a lot of red on the ticker.
There's a lot of red on the ticker.
You're going to jump out of a building soon.
You're going to jump out of our window? We're on the first floor, though.
Spray mango.
Now I just got a hospital bill. Fuck. Hey, I got this text earlier. So in DePere, Missouri, there's a dispensary, and they flooded.
What?
Yeah, the dispensary flooded. So in their dumpster currently right now is bricks. Bricks in their fucking dumpster right now. I have the address too.
I wonder how illegal that is.
I don't know.
Is it considered like it's
why is
bad?
the person that sent you that text not just
stacking it?
Taking it out?
Well, he's on his job, so he can't be rolling up to his back to in the company truck with bricks of weed.
The fuck you can't.
It's not far. What's the
Despere's pretty far.
did you say Despere's?
Whatever the fuck it is.
It's a DeSoto.
I ain't French, sir.
Despere's?
I ain't French.
Desperate.
Pear. What is it?
Rock
It's Missouri. Why would you even say it fancy anyway?
Missouri.
Missouri? Misery.
Aren't they? Didn't they just like approve recreational stuff over there?
Yep.
As well.
Let's see how far away it is. Maybe we'll delay this for a minute and go for
About an hour.
41 minutes.
Yeah, about an hour.
That is a 4-yard dumpster stacked with bricks
Somebody's already taken that shit out of there.
of moldy weed.
Somebody's already taken that shit out of there.
Drew, you are the closest one.
Man, you just knocked the mold off. I know how that works. You used to get that shit in bricks.
What happens if you smoke mold? Welcome to Unrolled, by the way. Episode 63. My name is Mike. This is Chuck across the table. Next to me is the famous, world famous Dr. Drew. So if you smoke mold,
You just knocked the mold. Listen, I've smoked mold. It used to come in that brick pack shit all the time.
Well, I know.
The bird
Yeah,
feathers and everything else. That shit was always moldy.
mustard and shit on it.
Shit was always moldy.
If you smoke mold, will you die? I mean, if you breathe in mold, it's not good. And you're talking water mold, like probably black
But
mold.
you smoke mold. I mean, mold's just a fungus.
Is it? Can we call it plume? And then it's fine.
You're right.
You call
it's
it plume.
It's
and
plume.
It's just fine.
It's just plume.
It's
But
just.
you're killing it with fire, so I mean, maybe it's.
Oh well, there's that too.
You smoke mushrooms.
Why?
You can smoke mushrooms.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, we don't.
You can smoke
Why have I
psilocybin.
Why,
You can smoke psilocybin mushrooms.
why have I been chewing these nasty things?
I don't think it's as good though. The first time I did mushrooms was smoking them,
Right.
and they weren't very good. Like we got visuals, but we didn't trip.
Oh, so should we end this and go 40 minutes away? And I mean, what do we take?
It's got to be a felony.
We'll
Has to be.
we'll take the no plate truck.
I mean, it's in the trash. How's it? I mean, they're throwing it away.
Right. throw it
Because
away.
of what it is.
Well, I mean,
Because of what that's like.
I mean, if we get caught with bricks, with a smidge more than what you're allowed to have on you.
Would it be like stealing
just a
the,
smidge.
the ladies' fat from the cellulite clinics and shit?
What?
Yeah.
Would you
Well-
say somebody's stealing fat?
So, actually, in a dumpster, if you go in somebody's dumpster and steal shit,
It's still
stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still theft.
Even though it's in the dumpster.
If it's outside the dumpster, man, nobody really cares. But if it's in the dumpster and you go in the dumpster and take it, it's theft.
So we need ski mask. Drew's got camo pants
I
on,
feel-
so
I
he's
feel like-
already ready
I'm
to
half
go.
invisible.
I feel like this is the plot of Half Baked.
I'm just saying,
Mexico.
when a dispensary is going to... So my text was, I can move it, grab it. You know.
Yes,
And-
Cuban B.
Got a bad
No.
back. Back says need a backiotomy.
Just saying, I mean, there's, what, $20,000 in moldy weeds? sitting there?
Probably more than that.
Do you think it's all even moldy? Just the outside?
No.
The inside's probably not.
I
What if
doubt
you
it's
dried
hardly
it? What if
moldy
you
at
dried it
all.
out and then
Dried
rehydrated
out,
it?
right. And then we have, I don't know, humidors everywhere.
Right.
I mean, and it's dry as fuck outside.
Smells like
Or
weed over here constantly
you
anyway.
could
Right.
dry it out.
Do you know how much money we make
Grind
just
it
here at the
up.
studio?
Right. Oh, fuck.
Fuck.
We just opened a drive-through window.
You can turn it all into edible stuff. If you ground it up,
Yeah,
processed it,
I got
whatever, turn
I
it
got
into
a lady
edibles.
for that. I got a lady that makes cookies and shit with the butter. It's controlled. Like
yeah.
she can control it. Like she's good at doing it.
Then the mold would be a non-issue.
Right. It is a non-issue anyway. I mean, fuck. If I'm selling joints for $0.25 again, like back in the '60s, motherfuckers.
$3 pinners.
Yeah.
What do they call that when they sell like individual cigarettes, like in New York and shit?
Squares.
No, it's like they get in trouble for it because they're not selling.
Oh
cigarettes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm just gonna set up I sold the damn cigar camper. I was like, I just stole all that weed in the cigar camper, take it down to Collinsville. Watch this, motherfucker.
Just pick it up and just sell it to the dispensary. They take it.
Right? They probably would.
That tastes all right, Drew.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know necessarily what I'm supposed to taste it. It's good though.
It's kind of it was kind of dry, so
I like the size of it.
Yeah.
all the
size.
cigars in that bottom humidor in that little
Bottom
box,
box, ours.
terrible, crunchy. So I took them all out, put them in the behind the box.
Do you think they were already bagged up? I mean,
That looks like
that's production.
Some old school straight from Mexico shit.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
what it looks like.
Yeah, it looks like Reg from the fucking
Right.
Reg
from
from
the
the
back in the
country.
days.
Do you see like the stalk? I think
Yeah.
that's a grow.
Oh yeah, like they just chopped it down.
Yeah, they chopped it down because it flooded. That's a thick stalk. Bro.
Why would that?
I wonder if they grow on site. Well, some of those places they have like starters, right? That's bigger than a starter.
Oh fuck yeah!
Why
it's
would
bigger.
that? Why would that hurt a live plant?
Well, it's probably insurance.
Uh,
The building flooded, so
Yeah.
they had to throw it all out. I'm just saying, there's two. Is that
plus
two?
now you got Mississippi mud water in your
That's the worst.
hydroponic
Right.
farm.
This is just hydroponic weed. I can't believe this dude's not getting. Man, this is why I don't have a real job because I'd already been fired.
Right.
Look at that pumpkin stem motherfucker.
Right.
That's huge.
Bro, that's way huge.
So what's he doing? Well,
He
giving
does
it
fire
away.
safety, so he's probably
Oh.
servicing sprinklers or something that went off.
Oh yeah.
So it's not even. It might not even be river water shit. I don't know. Maybe it's the River Des Peres flooded up into the. I mean, there's no flooding on the news, so I think it's probably
yeah,
just
I
a
was gonna
busted.
say how did it flood when
It's
we've not
probably
even had rain?
Well, he's out there, so it's probably sprinkler system shit.
Yeah.
So it's just nice, clean, filtered
Fair
water.
enough. Fair enough.
Just
Yeah.
it's sad in it.
Right.
Are we going to continue this podcast, or are we going to go pick up bricks of fucking weed? That's what I'm trying to.
I think we'll be safe.
You know, this older shit is starting to get on my nerves.
Sucks.
Yeah.
It's responsible, baby.
I'm really getting kind of sick of it, man. I need.
They do something dumb.
On this week's episode, we're going to unroll the Ozingen. Ozingen are family cigars, one of the sizes, one of the 4 sizes. Pretty cool cigar, actually. I like them. They're tasty. Beautiful
Cost
wrappers.
as much
It
as the
is.
Padron.
They are pricey in the great state of Illinois, but what isn't? So that's a solid stick. You can throw that bitch around. Listen, could have gabbled with that.
Right.
We didn't even need the gavel. Throw
Right.
that thing around.
Right.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So Drew, car looked good after the clean.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Did you see that
Yeah.
picture? You didn't see the
It was
picture?
I
fantastic.
did see the picture.
No.
No, I caught one last night when I left Aiden's soccer game in the parking lot, and you could see the whole parking lot in the side of the car. It was
Oh, nice.
pretty awesome. And then it rained this morning, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I know, right? Now I got spots. Oh, I did not see that picture. That's cool
Yeah.
as fuck. Did you take that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice. We pulled up. Emily's like, who the fuck's got that? I said, Drew. I go, that's a loud, fast one, too. She goes, damn it. I don't want that.
It is fast too.
Oh, yeah.
It goes
You got 3 tickets already. You don't even know it.
right. Right. Tires are full fixed flat already.
Right.
As soon as I hit the gas, fuck cop. I don't know what was going on. I think it manifests them.
Do they come with run flats just straight from Dodge? I would
They
assume.
should.
Right,
They should. They
right.
should come with them new honeycomb military tires.
Yeah, that
Straight
way
from Dodge.
That way when
So
stop.
throw out the roll strips.
Yeah,
or
that
whatever.
way stoppy
Right.
sticks don't stop you.
Right.
When you brought it down, did you change the settings on it? To
No.
the sport mode or the track
No.
mode? Man, that would have.
No. No,
I
only laid into it once. I had to. I couldn't.
But
I couldn't not.
I need to switch it because I had it in economy mode, so I'll put it in the good mode for you. And then,
So I was watching
economy mode still picked up and went.
yeah.
So I was watching a clip online, and this guy's rolling around California, and he's in track mode.
Mm-hmm.
He gets pulled over, gets his car impounded. Car's got to go after impound. It's got to be towed to a dealership, and track mode has to be disabled. He loses his registration until that car is proven that it doesn't have track mode.
What the fuck?
You cannot have track mode.
California.
Yeah, in California.
Wow.
That's why I said the other day. I was watching a stupid movie the other day, Day Shift with Jamie Foxx. He's a vampire hunter.
Okay.
It's just kind of dumb.
Okay.
It's entertaining enough.
Sure.
I mean, it's you can watch it. It's watchable, but it's just kind of a dumb movie. So they get in a car chase, and Bambi's being chased by a trophy truck, and I was like, not in California.
Right.
How'd they even get that there?
Right.
They got pulled over 25 times on the way to the grocery store where the car chase is happening.
Right.
And then there's two Chargers, and I'm like, no, they're way too loud.
Well, did they have fully automatic weapons too?
Why do they fully automatic? Why do they film these movies? And why don't they film them in Florida?
Right.
Base all these movies out of Miami instead of L.A. And now all this makes sense.
Right. Yeah, you can have no exhaust and full auto weapons.
Right. And there will actually be zombies.
Right.
You don't even need extras for that.
Yeah, you got crocodile down there.
You can just go out there and
Flocka.
Whoa.
you can just go out there and catch real people eating people's faces.
I was so hopeful that crocodile would make a stronger appearance.
A showing?
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
U.S.
No, who wants that? It's like kerosene and
Dude,
bombing.
Isn't it
It's
like
just a
Eastern
mixture.
European
crap.
situation?
yeah, it's Russian.
Yeah.
You know, it's over there.
It's just a mixture of caustic chemicals is
Man,
all it is.
My favorite video is when the doctor has his metal tool and he's just banging on dude's forearm bone because all the skin
Yeah,
had
just-
eaten. It's just ding, ding, ding on his own. I'm like, ugh, you know, and the lady lost her eye. Like, her eye came out of her head. And they're like, yeah, give me more of that. You know? I don't know, man.
Which I wonder what it does to make you want to.
It's supposed to be like heroin, I guess. It's the same high, just cheaper. So, and we had a few cases in Illinois of it.
it's the
or
same
not in
high
Illinois,
because
but
you're
in Florida.
literally dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in Florida, Florida had a couple, but it didn't pick up like I was hoping. So, I just wanted to see like people's arms, bones hanging out. So,
What was the story with that one guy a few years back? Was that what that was, or was that bath salts? That zombie dude that, you know, like was walking around trying to eat people's faces off?
That was bath salts.
It was bath
Flocka.
salts, yeah.
Bath salts. Yeah,
is Flocka bath salts?
I think so. I'm not 100% sure what Flocka is. I think it's bath salts though.
It's like where it doesn't Flocka. It's when your
So bath salts-
blood pressure rises real high. Your temperature. That's
Oh
why.
yeah,
That's
well,
why you strip down
that's
naked and
meth and
keep
that's all
running.
of them. Meth, PCP, all of them do that.
fuck niacin. I just took a 50 milligram niacin.
You dilating?
Yeah, my ears are tingly.
Yeah, all of them do that. So
Is it true that we were talking about California that they're outlawing
Probably.
gas cars? Is that a thing?
yeah, I think
it's
so.
going-
Actually, yeah.
Well, the semi trucks are coming soon.
Yeah, so they got to have all electric semi trucks. I think that was this year or next year.
How is that even reasonable though? Because it's not anymore.
You know what sucks about California doing that is through Nevada and into California, they have their own lane.
Semi trucks are.
Yep, they're in their own fucking lane,
Like the own POV
so
lane
they
or whatever
cannot.
it is,
Yep,
or-
so they can't impede traffic. Arizona too, I think. I think Arizona. Not like the whole state, but there's spots.
But
And
if-
they're long spots where they have their own lane.
So is it
So nice.
is it just
Okay, here's California. Large trucks and buses made before 2010 will be prohibited from operating on
Yeah.
California roadways starting January 1.
So it's already went into effect.
Yeah, this year.
so like
Yeah.
the transit buses and stuff probably?
Yeah, everything's got to be new.
Yeah.
So who got
That's
paid on that
crazy.
deal? Somebody got paid out on
That's
that.
crazy.
Right. So, but the whole thing with the electric vehicles is, you know, mining the minerals, you know,
Mhm.
charging unless you're completely solar or nuclear. Like, what kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
environmental?
Yeah.
It's still the
Yeah.
same environmental impact or worse.
It's worse.
So what's the point?
It's
I don't-
worse.
Is it
Money.
Is it just optics and
Money.
No, it's money and
Yeah,
optics.
it's-
Absolutely right.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And we're saving the planet.
yeah, exactly.
Go
We're
plan.
saving the planet. What about all that shit in the ocean. Oh, well, not that planet.
Right.
Oh yeah,
Right.
Side of Texas floating around, plastic.
Not that planet.
Bro,
This planet.
New York had so much trash back in the day, they built islands on it. And that's called boroughs now.
Yeah.
The motherfucker, I mean...
They call it Manhattan, don't they?
Yeah, Manhattan was literally just a landfill. Because you got to remember, all the colonies were right there. They had to dump it somewhere. They just dumped it in the ocean. Then they built on it.
Right.
I should have bought non-flushable niacin. That shit is tingly as fuck.
It's good.
I guess.
Well,
That's how that C4 is, man.
Oh, I know. I love C4, bro.
Faces.
Oh,
I used
yeah.
to sit in front of a kid in math class, and he'd take white crosses.
What is that?
Oh, that's old speed.
Like old
Oh,
speed.
no shit.
He'd take white crosses, and I'd be trying to sleep, right? And I'd be trying to fucking sleep, and he'd tap me on the shoulder. Charles. What the fuck you want, Joe? Leave me alone. And we were part of the same crowd, so he knew what I did all night. I
Right.
was trying to sleep. I can feel my hair. Shut up, Joe.
You guys are going to talk about COVID today?
No, you
Yeah.
want to talk about? You want to get into that controversial subject?
You said it last week.
How do you
going
How do you
to...
want to start it, Drew? How do you want to start this?
So we already know my...
I'm just here to chime in on that.
You want to want to start from the beginning, though. You want to
Yeah,
go through the timeline.
Yeah, let's do it.
You want to go through the timeline?
Mhm.
He's got a lot of...
So
too much knowledge on this
So
subject.
how much?
I'm just going to sit over here and
how
flush
deep?
out. Jesus.
So,
I gotta take that shit off.
How deep? How
So-
deep we going on
so
this
when-
rabbit hole?
when they first broke it, like when it first started to talk on the news, they said there was some kind of thing happening in Wuhan, China.
Right.
Right.
So do you agree with the lockdowns?
No,
Not even at first.
not even.
Not even at first.
No, it's terrible.
So I do. I agree. At first, I do. In the first month or two, I agree with it.
Okay.
I don't agree with some of the extent they went to, but I agree with it.
Okay.
So because they didn't know, they didn't have a clue. So they were basing it off SARS-CoV-1, which killed almost everybody that got it, like 80% or something. I think it is. I'd have to look it up to be 100% sure, but it was a lot. It was most people that got it, so they were looking at that, only more communicable.
Right.
And all the information we had was out of China. How unreliable is that? You know what I mean? So I agreed with it. I still agree with it. They didn't until they were able to get a handle on until they knew, which probably didn't take 2 months, to be honest, but until they knew what they had at their hands, I think it was a good play. I don't disagree with it.
There were pretty prominent virologists at the time who released something. I forgot that it starts with a B. I forgot. It was the Great Something paper, and what it showed was that lockdowns are pretty ineffective in doing this. Right.
So fair enough. Right? No, I know what you're talking about.
And then they also, the CIA and the FBI got the information directly from the guy who invented mRNA vaccines. He received, before it got over here, the Chinese gave him their treatment protocol with hydroxychloroquine and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Gave it to them, and they didn't do anything with it.
That's
I just follow the money for everything, right?
right. I don't
But saying
I don't buy that hydroxychloroquine and what was the other one? What's the other one? Ivermectin. I don't buy that they were miracle drugs. There's no such thing anyway.
I don't think for treating,
buy that.
but prophylactically.
I don't buy that. I just don't. But if we're gonna start with the lockdowns, like I agreed with it to a point, but once they knew what they had going on, once they knew what they were dealing with, then done.
Yeah.
Then done. But the problem that happened was the media circus took over and just started lying. They just started lying. Just about everything was a lie. The pictures of the cooler semi truck coolers, they were out there. They were out there.
Oh yeah, like the tents.
But they
in New
never
York.
used
Yeah,
them.
no.
The tents, they were out there, but they never used them. So and then they would tell you things like so I'm going to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Back and forth on the sides on this one, because and then they would tell you things like, oh, the ICU is 90% full. We've only got one bed. Yeah, but like half those beds are car accident people. Mm-hmm. Half those beds are people that had a stroke. Half those beds are people that don't have COVID.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, so I guess it depends how much do you want to believe that the government has your best interest in mind, right? So, or cares about you.
We'll get to that at the end,
yeah.
because I know a pretty good deal about that too.
Yeah.
So but the problem I had was so as we discussed last week before we ended, I had a nervous breakdown. I was on the edge of being in a bubble suit. Mm-hmm. I mean, I was right there. Not quite that far, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I never wore a mask. So I would take a mask with me, and I would have the masks on me, and because I just didn't want to be hassled. If I was going to go in a store and they wanted me to wear a mask, I just put the fucking thing on. It just wasn't worth dealing with the people.
100%.
And so what broke me, because this goes back to the media. What broke me was I read everything. I was reading stuff about viruses, how viruses work. I was watching all the news briefings. I was like overboard. I was reading about how your immune system works, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I went overboard. I obsessed. That's what happens when that happens to me. Mm-hmm. I obsess. And what got me was I read an article that said that COVID was on the AC controls in your vehicle. And this is where I broke. This is where my mind finally went, these fucking liars. This is where I broke. Because I thought, well, how to get there? And if it's already there, then I've already had it. And if I've already had it, why do I give a shit if it's there? But it was this big fear article about it being on the AC controls, and you're in the AC system in your car, and it...
And groceries and everything else.
It just made me realize. It just made me realize that these motherfuckers, right? This is... I knew they were, you know they're lying, right? You know they're sensationalizing. They've been sensationalizing everything since the 60s. Yeah. It got worse once they signed, I think Obama signed that freaking bill. It got worse. But you knew they were sensationalizing, but flat out lying. I mean, and that was obviously a flat out lie. So that's when I started looking at the numbers. Like I went to Worldometers. Because there was no, and people connected it to Russia and blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. Or China. Bullshit. Because they record everything. You can go on Worldometers right now and you can find out how many people are dying from a heart attack. Like there's a counter for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because every so many seconds somebody's...
Yeah, there's a counter for heart attacks, lung cancer, car accidents. They've got a counter. They keep track of all this information. And that website's been around for a very, very long time. Since way before COVID. So now they're taking care of this. So it's a big deal. So they dedicated. Now, of course, there's ads on it. They're trying to generate revenue from traffic, and they're getting it, right? Mm-hmm. So I started doing the numbers, and I started reading the preprints and all that shit. Everything after 2 months, they just lost their minds. They just completely lost their minds. It's all absolute garbage.
It is. And so when it first started, like, you remember when they came on the news and said somebody in Washington State had it, right? Or it was Oregon, Washington State, something like that. We were in Disney World with Sailor. Me, Melissa, and Sailor were in Disney World. And it was the weirdest thing because I saw it the night before we had gone back into the park. Or we got there late. We went to the park the next day. I saw it on the news.
Right.
We went to the park. It was the strangest thing because nobody cared about it. But I've never seen that many people sick. We had been there 3 times, right? And there was nobody ever sick. I mean, there was an occasional cough, right? Or coughing, and just everywhere. And I was like, "This is weird," you know. And I'm like, "This is strange," and kind of like,
well, some of that's got to be psychosomatic,
right? But right. We're taking wide berths around, people and stuff. But within 3 days, Melissa and Sailor were both sick at Disney. They were coughing, fevers. The night before we left, we almost didn't even make the plane because they were so sick. We got home for 2 weeks after that. They were still sick. Coughing all night long. So it wasn't even supposed to be there yet or here. but they had every single symptom of it, right? So I think it was everywhere before they said it was everywhere.
They found it all the way back to November.
Oh yeah,
all the way back to November. In blood samples that were taken in November from people that they didn't know.
Yeah, so
they were running blood panels on trying to figure out why they were sick. So the one thing the lockdown did, though, the lockdown screwed us because Singapore, and when we locked down like that, it screwed us because Singapore had a completely muted version of it that basically, and that was it. They had a completely muted version of it that would have quickly consumed it, and turned it into that. But because of the lockdowns, it was squashed. It died out. It wasn't allowed to spread, and it died out. And then it spread. But it'd been, and this is viral 101. This is virus 101. Is a virus knows. I think we touched on this last week. The virus knows, this little simple thing knows that its lifespan depends on you
surviving.
You being able to go out into the public. It knows that, and it actively tries to achieve homeostasis, I guess is what you can call it. It actively it thinks it's trying to achieve that the whole time. It's in your, as soon as it hits your body. For one, they use this mutation thing to scare everybody so bad. As soon as it hits your body, it mutates.
Right. So, but what do you think about, because, okay, so to go along with that, a natural virus, let's say, was, came from nature. They mutate and do everything, right? But if
this came from nature,
right? But if it's from the lab and it's the gain of function research, then they can change it to not want to be that homeostasis in your body.
So that proves your lab theory wrong then, because it did that.
Right.
It mutated to try and be less viral. It did that.
Right.
So I don't buy that either. I think that they were probably working on it. They probably had it in the lab. They were probably working on it in the lab. Probably something happened in the lab, and out it came. You know what I mean? I believe that, but there's like 3 lighters floating around. One of them works. I believe that, but I don't think they engineered it. I don't believe that. There's so many of the conspiracy theories out there are just being. I mean, that's like.
You don't think they engineer viruses so that way they can create a.
Well, they engineer viruses to create vaccines all the time. So.
Well, they've sure engineered our society to be overweight and sick, and surely they could engineer a virus to attack those people who have those comorbidities to reduce population.
That's not. I don't believe population reduction either, because why? You're a dollar sign, I'm a dollar sign. Every person out, even the homeless people shitting in the streets, are dollar signs. They're all dollar signs. So why would they do that? Why?
I don't know. Why in China do they limit how many kids you can have?
That's population control. Right. But that's a completely different thing. This is an out of hand population control.
Well,
they can't if they release something like this on the road, they don't know what it's going to. This is out of hand. They couldn't.
Well, I don't think it did. I think they released it on
sense.
Purpose. I think that it was made in a lab.
It doesn't make no sense. I think they had it in the lab and they were playing with it and doing what they do in labs and studying it. And based off SARS-CoV-1, why wouldn't they be? And somebody fucked up and got sick, caught it or whatever.
I'm saying they were working on it. I wasn't saying that they released it purposely from the lab. I think it came out of a lab. It was an accident.
Well, yeah, but
it didn't come from a wet market.
They didn't build it though. But it could have come from a wet market. Lots of things have come from those wet markets. I mean, they're eating everything. Have you seen a pangolin? Do you know what a pangolin looks like? It's an armadillo, basically. It's a little bitty tiny. That's what it looks like. Okay. I don't think it's the same thing, but it's a little tiny armadillo, basically, is what it looks like. And how's it even tasty? But it's some
seasoning.
But it's some backcountry Chinese medicine, and now we're flagged because that sounded racist. But that's what it is. They think it protects you from evil or some shit. Mm-hmm. And so they still buy them and they eat them. So the thing looks tough. How could you even eat it? So lots of things come from those wet markets. Right. I mean, they're disgusting. They're disgusting places. They really are. I mean, it's just food laying out on packs of ice.
That'd be a wild thing to go see, though. You know.
Crazy.
So, do you think that how to explain it? So, I didn't, obviously didn't close my office during it because people needed care, but I did have the people who had comorbidities and complicating issues stay home because I was concerned that, at the time that
right.
I didn't want them out being exposed or anything, but a lot of people needed to come still, so I stayed open.
So here's my problem with the comorbidities, is they still didn't know. They still they said, oh, if you're diabetic you'll die. They didn't know. Mm-hmm. They don't know. If you're above this age you'll die. They don't know. You know what I mean? They didn't know. They should have never been saying that stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you have a higher chance?
Well, I think if
something bad happens,
if you have any of those things, you have a higher chance of
of anything, of any virus you encounter, of the flu, of any virus you encounter. The cold, the common cold kills 10,000 people a year. The one that gives you the sniffles and you barely even notice, it kills 10,000 people a year. So in this country, just in this country,
is that weak people?
So
immune weak. Right.
It just depends on how your body reacts to it at the point in time you get it.
Right.
So you have no idea how your body's going to react to anything that you may encounter, ever. So I mean, it's my problem was that they lied so much that there's no way they couldn't create people that went, oh, it came from a lab. They bioengineered it. Oh, it's Bill Gates. It's Bill Gates. And then he said in a TED Talk, population control. Watch the whole TED Talk. Mm-hmm. Bill Gates is talking about reducing carbon emissions. And he starts off with his main point. And then he goes through each little side point. Mm-hmm. He doesn't repeat. Every time he does another little side point, he doesn't repeat the main line because he's talking to a building full of intelligent people and doesn't feel he needs to repeat himself. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then they take that one little expert. Oh, he said it. Look at what he did in Africa with all this. And listen, why are you making me defend Bill Gates? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. But that's what I was telling people. Why are you making... Bill Gates is a douchebag. Why are you making me defend a douchebag just because you want to be stupid? Right. And that's all it is. It's stupid. So, all these pundits and everybody that went off on it and just said all that... Come on.
What I didn't like about the whole situation is, first off, I think that everybody's entitled to their own decisions and choices of what they want to do for their own health, right? If you feel you're scared and you want to wear a mask and do whatever, go for it. You want to get
Leave people alone.
You want to get vaccinated, go for it. Don't force it on me if I don't.
Oh no, I never agreed with that part of it. But at the same time, listen, if Trump had won that election, it would be flopped. All the people saying that the vaccine's poison, it's killing people, those would be Democrats right now.
Right.
And all the Republicans would have went out and got the shot.
Right.
It would have been flopped because Trump advocated for the shot. Trump got the shot. Trump said that he's the one that made sure that the shot came through. Right? He's you can go back and watch it on TV. He says all these things. So if he had won the election and the vaccine regimen had been put out under his office, it would have been flopped. Yeah. Democrats would be doing the anti-vaccine thing, and the Republicans would have went and got their shot.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and listen,
I wouldn't have gotten the shot.
Yeah. And you have some people that went and got the shot. You know what I mean?
I don't get any shots. So.
Right. Well, you don't go get any shots, and you're not going to go get this shot.
I took a 9mm to the hand. No, it was 40 cal to the hand. That's the only shot I've taken in a long time.
But. And that's with the vaccine too. And so, but the problem is they told all these lies. They created this freaking mess by telling all these lies to begin with. Well, this thing has been I forget the name of it now. Attenuating. This thing has been attenuating from the beginning, and it's been attenuated for quite some time. Like after the first year, I think they found, what are they calling it now? B.2783654 or whatever the hell they're calling it now. So, but if you go back and you look at the preprints, you can actually follow it as it attenuates. If you actually read the preprints. So this is how much I know about it now because how my brain works when I freak out. I know that in every virus, there's a section. There's the ORF7 and ORF8, and that is the part of its genome, and that is the part that is responsible for the things that interact with our immune system, and how good it can evade our immune system, and how good. So the whole time it's been trying to find a balance, both evade the immune system so it can live, and not destroy every cell it touches. Right. So it did that it did that fairly early on.
Well, but also though so you said that the comorbidities aren't a thing.
I didn't say they're not a thing. But I said that they shouldn't have said you're gonna die.
Right,
and that's what they were putting out there.
But the obese
don't know.
The obese people, their cytokine response and the storm that resulted from vaccine and the virus is much larger because of their fat content in their body.
Well, yeah, they're not as healthy.
No, it's the actual level of the lipid, the content of the fat in their body. It causes a reaction. Their immune reaction, that cytokine storm, what killed people and caused the platelets and all that stuff to coagulate and all that.
That was happening to all kinds of people, though.
Same, but the more heavier you are, the if you're 700 pounds, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Compared
that's
to
for
you,
every virus.
Right.
But that's every virus. Fat people that get the flu don't do so good with the flu. You know what I mean? They get sicker than I would with the flu. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They get sicker because their body is under that much more stress. And it's, you know what I mean? So they might be able to live a little bit longer if they're throwing up and stuff. They've got all that fat to eat, but for the body to consume and use for energy. But you're under all that, your heart, your lungs, everything's under a lot of stress when you're that big. So...
Did you ever get it?
And then yeah, I think I've had it at least twice, at least. So, but I also got the shot. So I only got one, and I'm gonna sit here and tell you right now that it's bullshit. So first of all, that mRNA has been being studied since the 90s. Since the 90s, they've been using it in the sickest of cancer patients since 2011. It's not killing them. Cancer's still killing them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's working. It's helping them live longer. But if it's not killing them, then why is it killing you? And so everybody wants to go, well, it's causing heart attacks. That's not how this works. It causes myocarditis and pericarditis. Technically, your immune system causes those things, not the vaccine. Because you can get a cold and get myocarditis. Not even know you had a cold and still get myocarditis, pericarditis. Anytime you interact with a virus or a bacterial infection, you run the risk of inflammation, full body inflammation, which is right. So anytime. So
there's a difference between correlation and causation, right? So you can say you can't even though there's actually research now that shows that there's been an increase in all those things and instantaneous death. But you can say it's correlated, but you can't say it's caused.
Wait though. Because I got something to counter that. So there's a huge correlation between that. We'll get into that in a second. So there's another correlation in heart-related issues with a different product that nobody's saying jack shit about. So, and it's just readily...
Is it a new product that's been within the last 3 years?
No, not within the last 3 years. But the correlation hasn't gone up that bad in the last 3 years. It hasn't.
It's statistically significant.
It's not. From where? What's your source?
Let me look it up right now.
I want to know the actual source. I want to see the actual... And it don't have to be an NIH source because Fauci should have been in jail in the 90s.
Okay, so that dude...
Fauci should have been in jail over AZT. Yeah, much less this.
So that's the okay. Out of the whole thing, I'll agree with you on everything you want to say because everybody's entitled, right? But the thing I will fight to the end on is that dude, the government and the media made it impossible to disagree with him, even though he was blatantly wrong on
lying.
Yeah,
he would change his story from one day to depending on who was paying.
And if you try to challenge it, then you are ostracized. You could be the best research scientist in the world, and they shit on you and made you.
And he should have been locked up over AZT because he knew AZT was killing people. They knew AZT was killing AIDS patients. And they kept pushing it.
And he can't throw a baseball for shit either.
But he kept pushing it. And they pushed it in the 90s. And he was a big part of that push in the 90s. So, and then he lied about it being in a lab. He lied about funding Wuhan. He's lied about so many things that he's been caught on. Why is he not in prison? Period.
So how does that? So him lying and then, but
even not in prison, why does he still have his job?
Didn't he retire?
But how did the
Not
CDC?
yet.
How did the CDC fall in line? Fall in line with all the bullshit too.
Because it's all owned by the same corporation.
Right. So then
It's all owned by Bayer or whatever the big one is, Monsanto, whatever the big one is.
So then how do you know what to believe? Because if all the studies are funded by the pharmaceutical companies,
You don't. You really don't. So, but you can read the independent preprints. You can read those. You can go online and you can read those. And they break down what the virus has done here, here, and here. You know what I mean? In its own genome, they can break down. There's a stop codon in 27 in this version of it. There's a mutation in RF8 where it deleted 32 lines. There's a mutation here. There's a mutation here. And then so you can read that about this SARS-CoV-2. You can read all those things, right? Mm-hmm. And then you can go back to 2008 SARS-CoV-1, and which fizzled out, which killed itself off because it made people too sick. It couldn't spread. Mm-hmm. But it attenuated. It attenuated over time, and then it just ended, right? So you can go back and you can read how it attenuated too, and you can just, because they're the same virus, same type of virus, you can see that okay, that had a stop codon on this line, that had mutation RF8 or RF7 that lost this many lines, and that had this, and you can compare what that one did with what this one did, and you can literally watch this one attenuate and turn into nothing, turn into the common cold, which is what they all do. And even further back, if you want to go back to just regular the coronaviruses you interact with, which is this one is now, you can interact with before this thing and before the other one even. They still know. They don't know to the extent because they didn't get to study it as it happened. Mm-hmm. But they can still tell you, okay, it's got this deletion here. In comparison, it's got this same thing, this same thing, this same thing, this same thing. And you can go back and you can compare the two. You can compare them all, and you can see that it's doing. And they knew that, and they still kept lying. You're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. You can't put the public in such a sense of fear. Because not only are you going to create the absolutely brainless compliant, you're going to create the absolutely brainless non-compliant as well.
Well, yeah, and you're creating the person that I see every day, which is nuts, driving in their car with a mask on by themselves.
I like the guy I seen down the street with his mask on sideways and the cigarette hanging out of his mouth and all his windows up. I was like, dude, come on now. Come on.
So at the beginning, like I was telling you, like, I agree with everybody's right to be afraid or concerned or worried. But at the beginning, I was like, that can't be that bad. Like getting it. And then you said it's attenuating, so it's getting less strong. But I fairly certain I got the wild strain or the second one that came through.
Right.
I've never been so sick in my entire life. And I'm a healthy, most healthy person for the most part.
Right.
I literally thought I was going to die. Like on the couch, purple gray, can't get oxygen, like. Melissa's like, "Did I take you to the hospital?" For almost a week and a half straight. Couldn't get off. Couldn't sleep. I couldn't wake up. I was sleeping. All I had was those, applesauce things. Those go-go things. Nice. So she would bring me one of those. I just suck it down and I whack sleep and Saved by the Bell played for 24 hours a day.
You should have probably.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's probably what made you sick. That's probably part of it.
Kelly Kapowski's all the thing that got me through.
That's probably
all that hairspray.
Yeah.
listen.
So
Zach
sad.
Morris is trash.
Mm-hmm.
Zach Morris is trash.
Zach Morris is trash.
So, have you not seen those videos on the internet?
What is that?
Yeah,
Zach Morris is trash.
Oh, it's
literally great.
You gotta look those up.
It breaks it down how he's a piece of shit.
Right. Oh, he's just a complete total piece of shit.
He gets all his friends in some fucking trouble.
Right.
And he fucking skates out free.
Right.
Yeah.
But you probably should have went to the hospital.
No, because you know why? I was like, because I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I'm like, I'm gonna go to the hospital. They're gonna be like, oh, you didn't get the vaccine? You're a piece of shit. And then either they're not gonna help me or they're gonna stick me somewhere.
They don't have a choice.
And for a while they were turning people away.
They don't have a fucking choice.
Maybe for quite a few months there, they were turning people away.
Own that goddamn
on the
hospital.
on the beds. They would not give you a bed if you didn't have the vaccine.
Own that fucking hospital. They turned me away.
You couldn't get a kidney transplant in some states without the vaccine.
Well, and that's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Mm-hmm. I agree with that fully. That's absolutely, completely ridiculous. You don't want the vaccine, fine, don't get the vaccine. But my whole stance the whole time has been have an intelligent decision. Make an intelligent decision on why you don't want the vaccine.
But you couldn't.
Don't do it because the Hodge twins told you that it's poison and people are dying from heart attacks. So I had a lady tell me, and this has just been a month ago, before my last ban. I think that's actually what I got banned for last time around. She told me, well, 18,000 people have died from that vaccine. Okay, let's take your number. I don't know where your number came from. I'm not even going to ask you where your number came from. Let's take your number. Let's take it and compare it to the 7 billion people that have had the vaccine, and it's not even a statistical.
Percentage.
It's not even worth looking at. It's like a 0.000003.
I think it's more that there's attention on it right now, right? Because people are
right.
So, but then there's a lot of extremely healthy, physically active, it's like say even super athletes that it's never happened and they're dropping dead from things. And,
has this ever happened before the vaccine?
Yes.
Not to the level though. There's
what is the level, or are we just aware of it now? And it's being publicized more.
Right.
It's being called to attention now because you've got people.
Now it's getting tracked.
You've got people looking.
It's
not even so much that it's got tracked. You've got people looking.
Right.
Looking for this specific thing so that they can say it's caused by that. You've got people directly looking for it.
But that's a result of the lies that they tell because...
Exactly. So, it's a result of the original lies that they begin to tell.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so let's take this last guy. What was his name that had the heart attack on the field?
The football player.
Yeah, the football player. So that heart attack was caused by a blow to the chest, right? That's what it was caused by. They know that's what it was caused by. You do mixed martial arts. Have they not told you that a direct blow to your chest hard enough will cause your heart to stop?
I mean, it can cause an issue, yeah.
Yeah. No, it'll cause your heart to stop. It's a real thing. It's true. It's happened in fighting. It's happened all over the place.
I saw it in Rocky.
Right. Well, so now you know it's true. Right?
That's more truthful than what we've seen the last few years.
You couldn't tell people that that's what caused it. You couldn't tell them.
Well, because how many years have the NFL there been, and it never happened. And
well, it's because they were chest plates. I mean, it just happened to be just the right. I mean, it happens. But it does happen.
Right.
It happens. So, but you couldn't tell people that that's what caused it. You couldn't tell them. Couldn't tell them anything. Couldn't tell them nothing. You can't tell people that there's been a rise in heart-related issues since 1997. There's been an incline in heart-related issues since 1997. You know what hit the mark? Well, didn't hit the market, but what became exceedingly popular starting in 1997?
Energy drinks.
Energy drinks. And I happen to know a person younger than me with a heart thing in his chest, younger than me, and it directly related to energy drinks.
Yeah, 100%.
Directly. So now you take these super athletes, right? So let's go back to the muscle-bound guy that got COVID and almost died. One of the first people that they paraded around when it first came out. You remember that guy? This fit, heavy weightlifting, muscle-bound guy, and he got COVID. Well, he was on steroids. Steroids kills your immune system. It did. What do they call it? Depresses your immune system. Yeah, suppresses your immune system. That's why he got so sick.
There's a lot to steroids than just generalizing steroids. So he had to have been taking something, because what's your typical steroid stack? It's going to be testosterone, deca, tren. Any of those things actually suppress the immune system?
No, but what it does is, what it can do possibly is maybe if we're talking Mr. Olympia big, they're taking crazy superhuman levels that they're 100 times what we should be, right?
He was a big fit dude. He wasn't taking your normal stat.
No, right.
Yeah, I mean
he's
if your test level's 3,000 or 4,000 all the time, it's going to eventually cause a problem in your body, right?
Right. So that's why he got so sick. They paraded him around as this big fit dude. Why did he get so sick? He was healthy. Was he? And it's like all the other ones. They're like, oh, this guy was 19. He was healthy. Never had a problem. Was he?
Right.
Was I healthy at 19? I couldn't tell you. You know why? I hadn't seen a doctor for 4 years, and it'd be another 10 years since before I'd see a doctor.
Yeah.
So was I healthy at 19?
So you think all this stuff is coincidence as far as like people are being more focused on discovering it or seeing it now?
There's a lot of it.
I mean, I do.
A lot of it. A lot of it's causation. A lot of it, the virus is killed these people, certainly.
So
A lot of it, but the vaccine.
do you think that there's no vaccine side effects?
Oh, there's certainly. I had a vaccine side effect.
Okay.
What was yours?
Yeah. The elevated heart rate for 72 hours. Yeah, I definitely had a vaccine side effect. That's why I didn't go back. I wasn't going to go back for a second shot anyway because it's all marketing and bullshit. That's not the way your immune system works. You don't need to get a shot and then get a booster shot to make better antibodies. It's not how it works. If you just even rudimentary understand how your immune system works, that's not how it works.
So I was listening to
Infecting it and then reinfecting it does not do it any good.
no, and that's what I was listening to this one doctor talk about, who's research doctor, highly published. I'll find you the studies after or whatever, but basically he said that if you say you already had COVID, then you go get a vaccine. Now
You don't need it.
But people who do that though, and they tell people you still need it and you need a booster.
But you don't.
But that's what they tell people on the news, and Fauci and everybody else says that shit, right? So now you go get it, and that's what's causing a lot of the platelet accumulation in your blood vessels and causing strokes and all those problems. So that's another one of the lies they told that are killing people.
But here's
and that can kill people.
Well, but here's another problem you have right now, is you're relating a symptom, a side effect of one vaccine, and applying it to all vaccines. So only the Johnson & Johnson, only the live virus vaccine was causing the platelet buildup and the blood clots. And you're sticking that in, and that's what they're doing. They're sticking that in with the mRNA vaccine.
They're not being specific.
With a different vaccine, and then they're taking that vaccine, and they're doing it both directions. You know what I mean?
So do you...
And listen, pericarditis is a thing, but this is how the vaccine works. So the vaccine is an intramuscular vaccine, right? So what the cells it looks for are dendritic cells. They're the cells in the muscles. That's why it should never move past your arm. It shouldn't. It can, and it probably does, but it shouldn't move past your arm. That's why, like, the flu shot doesn't make everybody sick, because it never comes past the where it's been shot into. So some people it does.
What percentage of people getting the vaccine do you think it's actually getting administered properly? Because it shouldn't be in your blood vessels, and if they're not, the nurse or whoever is not aspirating that to see that they're not in a blood vessel, that can cause a big problem. You said it's intermuscular, which is true, right? That's one of the things. Is that if you hit if you
hit a blood vessel,
it's bad, right? And
so. See, I don't know that, but I bet not many.
So they should. So like anytime you get a vaccine, or if you got one, or they should aspirate back to make sure they're not in a blood vessel. If they are, they start over again, right?
Okay, right.
So that is one thing that's added to the increase in those things, is that it shouldn't be shot directly into the blood vessels. So like intermuscular.
But then that's not vaccine. That's operator error.
Yeah, but
so I mean that's malpractice.
You still have to
keep vaccine.
You have to take that in consideration, though, whenever you're going to have all these people overworked issuing vaccines.
Yeah, but you can't directly blame the vaccine for it, because it's not the vaccine causing it. It's an error. It's a human error.
But if I don't get the vaccine, then that can't happen.
So right.
But what?
Right.
Let's say.
If they the same thing can happen then with the tetanus shot, then if they're not.
Oh yeah. I'm saying
sure.
The same thing can happen with any shot.
Any shot, yeah.
But
dude, I could jam test in my fucking vein and be fucked up.
Yeah, and if you don't right with any shot. So, but it reacts on the dendritic cells. It should never leave that muscle. It shouldn't. It does. It happens, right? It happens. It does. But and then so so the dendritic cell's whole job in your body is to find white blood cells and go, hey, look at me, I got this new thing on my back, and then the white blood cells goes, that's fucked up. You got to die. It kills it, and in the process, it learns what this new thing is. Right. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and then it communicates with your entire immune system that, hey, watch out for this new thing, this guy over here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so that should take about 48 hours. So, but if the white blood cell misses one, which it can miss them, right? So that shouldn't last more than 14 days. The mRNA only lasts 14. It has a half-life of 14 days. It's dead in 14 days. Mm-hmm. And then after that, all that's left, after if it gets it all in the 48 hours, all that's left is the scattering of proteins and stuff, right? If it lasts the 14 days, all that's left after that is the scattering of proteins, which your liver filters out. Same scattering of proteins that you would have if you'd have got the virus. They're no different. So okay, so if in the first 2 weeks, hell, let's go a month. In the first month, if you got the shot and you had a heart attack out of nowhere, no history, no nothing, which a lot of people actually have history in their family.
Yeah.
But if you out of nowhere had a heart attack and perfectly, you just had an EKG and all this heart stuff before. Let's just, the impossible scenario that you just had all this heart monitoring tests done. Then you went and got the shot, and in the first month had a heart attack. Fine. There's your correlation. That is obviously something happened, right? Having to do with it, obviously. But after that month, there's nothing left. There's nothing left that could have caused it. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's out of your system. It's gone. All that's left is the white blood cell that now knows what that thing is.
So my problem, as if you can make fun of me if I'm not a real doctor or whatever, but my problem as when people ask me questions is, number one, I'm not supposed to say my opinion anyways. Right. Well, I can say my opinion, but I can't give advice because that's not my whatever.
Right.
So, but I will give people my opinion on what I think. But the problem with
but we already know you're anti-vaccine.
Right. But the thing is that they've made it with the fear they created and the propaganda and the lies on both sides. It's made it hard to find an objective truth, right? So it's hard to find. It's still out there. It's hard to find, and you can't direct somebody. So I have to be like, well, research and do what you think's best for you based on your history and conditions, right?
Right. So the only thing you can do, so I went and got the shot to try and stop the anxiety that I was having because it just wouldn't quit.
Right.
I couldn't back it down. So I got some trauma from when I was a little kid, and this thing triggered that trauma, and my brain just went, and honestly, I think I was like kind of having a little bit of a midlife crisis when it all hit too anyway. So, turning 40, I've been to the doctor more in the last 5 years than I ever have in my entire life. You know what I mean? So I went and got the shot after I did all my own research. Like I said, you got to do your best. Just do your best to know. You know what I mean? Do your best to educate yourself with what you can find out there. And quit letting these idiots. That's been my whole thing the whole time. Quit letting these idiots on the TV or on YouTube tell you what you should do.
And that's the problem too, is because
then quit getting your information from comedians. Dan Bongiono. Who the fuck is Dan Bongiono? He ain't nobody.
People will read the first line of an article
and never read anything else.
And so you a lot of misinformation, and people just pass that along and everything else. So
they're purposely doing it. So a lot of people say, "Well, I don't get my news from the mass media." You do. Dan Bongiono is the mass media.
Who is
just because he's a YouTube pundit?
Right.
Just because he's on YouTube, the Hodge twins are mass media, and they're funny. I like them. I think they're funny, but they're still mass media. Their whole goal is to say something to trigger you. So that you'll come back and watch again.
And comment.
And comment.
Yeah,
so that you'll come back and watch again and watch again and watch again and watch again and watch, because that's how they make money. And that's the same thing the news is doing.
And I'm not necessarily anti-vaccine. I'm pro-immune system, right? Your own immunity, right? And so, now here's the thing. If Ebola was coming through, I know for a fact that my fucking body's not going to do shit to fight it, and I'm going to be bleeding out of my eyes and asshole, and I'm going to die, right?
So not all Ebola.
Well, but if there was a vaccine,
that's another thing where they lied.
Right.
That's another thing where they massively exaggerate. Yeah, these people are bleeding. They're drinking sewer water.
Right.
While they have Ebola. So,
but if that was the case, and that was became that was a pandemic, then if there was a vaccine for it and the kids need it, I'm like, we need to go get that because we're going to have a real rough time with things. But after, like you said, you spend a month evaluating the situation, and I would say, okay, well then I think I'm gonna take my chances, and that's what I did. I'm gonna take my chances with fighting this.
They're not helping the vaccine either by going. You got to get this booster, 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 this booster. I mean, how many do they have now? Right. So that was the whole thing from the beginning. Is Moderna and Pfizer sold the government this many shots, this many things, and why would they not? You've got a government willing to buy all you want to produce based on your recommendation. You know what I mean? Have money. Why would you not? That's like coming in here and me going, no, you only need 2 cigars. You don't need to smoke 20 cigars a day. You only need to smoke 20's bad for you. You only need to smoke. Why would I do that? I wouldn't. I'll smoke 20 cigars, but can I watch?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Come up here on that 20th. You know what I mean? Let me see what's going on here.
I want to see what shade of green you are.
Right. But I mean, that's part of the problem too. Is the whole thing was based off lies. So you're going to have all this. What bugs me is all these people that I know are intelligent. These intelligent men and women. I know they're smart. I've seen them say smart things. I've seen them do smart things. I've talked to them on the internet for 20 years. They're smart people, and they fall into this cycle of just repeating nonsense.
Yeah.
And they won't listen to nothing outside of it. You cannot educate them at all. Well, how do you know? You're not a doctor. You know how the doctor got to be a doctor? He read a fucking book.
Yeah.
You can read.
And this is legitimate too. Do you know that which is a strange thing this is vaccines across the board, which is weird to me. This situation, and it's because of the pharmaceutical companies. Pediatricians have a quota they can get paid to reach.
Oh, no, I believe it.
Like, say if 85% of their patients are vaccinated, they get this wild ass bonus, right?
Yep.
And that is the wrong way to approach healthcare in general.
Definitely.
So, I just
that's the approach for all healthcare. Mental health care too. It's just as bad.
Right.
Take this. Let me know if you feel better. Take this. Let me know if you feel better.
Yeah.
Oh, it sterilized you and gave you flat effect for the rest of your life. Oh, well, do you feel better? Mm-hmm. I got paid. Fuck you. You know what I mean? And I've got experience with that myself. So and it's when you go to the doctor. I don't remember. I thought it was you that was telling me you went to the doctor or something, and he was like, "Well, I'm going to prescribe you this," and you said, "No, I don't want that." And he was trying. He was trying it. Well, you should. No, I don't want that. I don't remember who it was that was telling me. I thought it was you.
I lost my faith in the healthcare system. I went to the doctor one time, and I said, "Hey, this hurts," and he goes, "You should stop having sex." And I said, "What's that have to do with this?" And he goes, "You're not married."
Oh, yeah.
This is a medical doctor.
I believe that too.
Who told me
I believe that
I should not have.
So,
And then his other recommendation was stop chewing gum. And I'm so confused.
Cool story, Hansel.
Right. And so it's like at that point, at a young age, I went, I'm probably like 17, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let my body tell me.
I'm just gonna stop chewing gum.
I'm gonna let my body tell me what.
Well, so I changed doctors too because I called my doctor and I said, "Hey, my insurance will pay for this antibody test. I want to go get this antibody test. It'll help relieve my anxiety. My anxiety is causing me real world health problems.
Yeah.
I can't. My stomach's fucked up constantly. I can't sleep. I'm having these weird spells in the middle of the afternoon. My anxiety is causing me a lot of problems." And this will help to I think this will help to relieve my anxiety. And my doctor goes, "Well, I don't believe in that test. I'm not going to order it for you." All she had to do was order it. And I went to Quest and Alton, got the test. Maybe it would have. Maybe it wouldn't have. Who knows? It's worth a shot, right? So I switched doctors and went to this new doctor over here. And I said, "Hey, I want to get this antibody test." She goes, "Done." Sent me off. That easy. Easy. Done. Okay, no problem.
So
let's not blame the doctors too much, though, because the amount of pressure and overworkedness that there's I don't want to put it all on the doctors. There's good and bad of every profession.
Right. But I'm the patient. I'm the patient.
No,
and my insurance is paying. My insurance is all. I called my insurance ahead of time to make sure they would pay for it.
Right. No,
I'm the
concur
patient.
I concur
my
with
insurance is paying for it.
You're
getting paid.
I'm just not.
You're getting money. Do what I want. Mm-hmm. I'm the patient.
Yeah.
But you patient. I don't think patients really. I don't know, man. So they don't seem to listen.
Another thing is with that test you're talking about, the antibody test. What's weird, and it just fits into that lying narrative. Is do you know about like how they run that test? It runs at a certain.
They amplify it.
Yeah, it's the cycles it runs at, right?
Yeah, they amplify.
So they were running the test at a level that shouldn't be ran at. The amplification was
for the antibody
inappropriate.
For the antibody
test?
test?
Like the cycles they were running it at was basically
to find or to try not to find.
No, to boost up numbers, right? You know, as people who are sick.
Now you're saying they. I mean, you're grouping in every.
No, not the doctors, not them. I'm saying
the lab.
Yes,
right.
Well, there's a protocol. Well, no, he's right because there's going to be a protocol, and that protocol is.
Yes, so the protocol from the CDC was to run it at this level of cycles. Right?
Why would they do that when they're trying to push all their other not? You know what I mean? The money's
to show that you have
to show that there's more positive numbers to create more fear to. For the
but that doesn't make sense.
Sure it does.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
So if these people in fear, everybody stays home.
So if everybody has it,
right, then less people can have it, so less contagion out there. The less people that can have it, the less infiltration of the population it could have. It would have. That's a broader approach to herd immunity.
But if you had it, then you definitely need that booster shot.
Well, see, that's wrong, and so they did that too with the vaccines, and that's another thing that caused all this vaccine opposition,
like hesitancy, and everything.
They said that it works better than natural immunity. No, not in the history of anything ever. No, absolutely not. That's not possible. That can't happen. It's not true. No way.
There's 140 plus studies that show that your natural immunity is 20 to 30 times more effective than vaccines.
Yeah.
And then in the case of COVID, your natural immunity was it like 6 to 10 times more effective in keeping you out of the hospital than the vaccines.
Oh yeah. Way. Yeah. way better.
Like for me, like personally at this point in my life, like if I get taken out by a virus, that's fine, whatever. But
the hell if I'm going to get taken out by something I can't even see on my fingertip? Fuck that shit.
It's on your AC control though. So.
Right, it's on
it's everywhere.
It's on your order cookies.
Right. It's on my butthole right now.
It's always on your butthole.
Right now.
Right. Show us your butthole.
Right.
It's on the internet. I can find it for you. You want the actual butthole, or you want the one with the heart picture over it? When I belonged to this, website, and they had this this forum, this message board forum, right? And they had this section where it was pornography, right? Mm-hmm. This small section. And it was just picture after picture after picture after picture, and from the very conception of it, right, as soon as they started posting, I was going to do it from then and there, but I wanted to wait until it got deep, so I knew these guys were going every
they're really into
every day, and they're so that they're thumbing through these pictures, jerking it, boom, my asshole. Oh, and the amount of hate and mad people got over that. Oh my God, I got so mad. Oh, it was great, but the whole thing's created. I mean, when you base something off such lies to begin with, you're going to create. If they'd had just told the truth from the beginning, listen, here's this thing. We don't know what it's going to do. You should probably stay in your fucking house for a little while till we figure it out.
Yeah.
How many people would have been like,
cool,
okay,
yeah,
okay,
but
I agree.
But when you create the scenario of fear and it's not backed up.
But instead they said, here's this thing, and you're gonna fucking die. Stay in your fucking house like a good little compliant soldier. Of course, people are gonna go, no, I'm not going to.
Now, okay, so it's, of everything that's come out of like how the lies or the misrepresentation of how bad it was.
It's just flat lies. There's no misrepresentation.
I'm trying to be kind, but so that. Do you think that would have happened at a different point in history without the interconnectivity of everybody?
Nope.
So you just would have accepted
this wouldn't have happened in the 80s or the 90s. It wouldn't have happened in the 80s or the 90s. It wouldn't have.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have gotten away with it for so long. They wouldn't have gotten so far. It wouldn't have gotten so bad. It wouldn't have gotten so.
No, I think it would have gotten been worse because nobody could. You know, I don't have the ability to talk to this person in Russia about it. You know what I mean? And what's going on over there, and you can't
Right.
communicate. So I'm saying the fact that everybody can talk to each other and
So you say that as in we can share all this truthful information, but that's not what's being shared.
no, but I'm saying
So,
like
I mean, if you could share all this truthful, I mean, if we were able to share nothing but honest, truthful facts and information, then you're right, you're correct.
Yeah.
But that's not what's being shared at all. At all. So, I'll give you another perfect example of that is these climate change people. You can look at a map that points out specifically that we are causing more damage to the environment by industrial farming, by plowing in industrial farming every year than cars for 5 years or whatever it was. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was something like that. You can look, they show pictures, direct correlation.
like the topsoil loss and everything.
Direct correlation. But you can't tell these people because they've read this other thing. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Well, I'm not telling you. I'm just giving you the information. I'm not telling you. I didn't do this study. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing with this. Truthful, honest, factual information is not being shared. It's not being shared. And Facebook's not letting you share it. So back to the numbers, I was doing the numbers and I was showing a decline in the whole time. It was getting less and less and less and less and less. You know, severity was getting less and less. It was down to like 0.2%, 0.3%, 0.4%. Well, here's the thing about severity. Here's the thing. Severity is directly correlated to deaths. Directly.
Right.
So if the severity is 0.2, then the deaths have only, if the severity is 0.2, and let's go with the high number of 7%, severity is 0.2 and 7% of those people are going to die, right? Which was the high number from the beginning, and what I've always based it from. Then what's severity going to be? It's going to be like 0.01. It's going to, I'm not good at math, so I can't do it in my head, but it's going to be even lower than the 0.2,
right.
Obviously. So and Facebook banned me several times for posting the numbers. I was just copying them, posting them. No opinion.
Were they saying you were spreading misinformation?
Yep, misinformation. No opinion, no nothing. It wasn't factual. Well, how's it not factual? And then something happened, and something happened. I can't remember what it was, but something happened, and they stopped labeling that. You know what I mean? Like they didn't.
And who the fuck are their fact checkers? Who's getting paid to do that job?
They don't have them.
Well, now they don't.
They don't actually have fact checkers. It's a bot that recognizes keywords, and it knows that these keywords are associated to this. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like an AI script or something.
Yep. That's all it is. That's what it is. It's a rudimentary AI script that goes this keyword and this keyword. And that's factual information. It's just picking out keywords.
What I loved was the amount of push on the internet when you said vaccine. Click here to learn more about the vaccine.
Oh yeah,
Click here to learn more. Every fucking post, I will never get this fucking vaccine, and then next thing you know, here's a tag for. So something's just real fucking fishy when everybody and their mother is pushing some bullshit.
And I don't understand that either. I don't understand why the pharmaceutical companies let them do that, because that's their bread and butter. That's their money. That's why this regimen exists anyway. So you got to know. You can't tell me that they don't. Listen, the CIA has been studying Americans since the CIA's inception. It's been studying Americans. Conception, sorry. It's been studying Americans. They know how we work. They know how we work. So you can't tell me that these ad companies know how we work. They know our psychology. Pharmaceutical companies know our these people know our psychology. So you can't tell me they didn't go, well, if you push it on them, they're not going to get it because Americans are bullheaded, and simply because you're pushing it, they're going to go no. Simply because you told them they need to go get it, they're going to go, nope, I don't need it. I don't like you. You know what I mean?
So
why did they allow it?
Out of the amount of people that you personally know, how many, like, rough percentage, how many people got the shot? Like, did your wife get the shot?
No.
Really? Like, so what about your sister, Amy?
I think she did, yeah.
Right.
It made me so angry when people said they were gonna, like, relatives
Right.
get it, but she has, predisposition,
Sure.
conditions
Right, yeah.
and stuff. I know my mom and dad did, but immediate family like me,
Right.
Taylor, Melissa, Rex,
That's the other thing about it, is you've got this whole age group that is rightfully suffering from heart conditions because it's just a muscle. It's weak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At this age,
Mhm.
where's the huge uptick with them? It's just in these athletes and these teenagers. Where's the huge uptick with them?
I mean, it's not publicized, though.
So-
You're saying
so-
uptick, big uptick is literally
It's-
just what's being publicized.
Well, I think it's because, like you said, they have when you get to that age or you're in that range, you have a bigger predisposition to having those issues, right? But
So they're not reporting it?
Yeah, but Johnny the 5-year-old who's playing soccer and has a heart attack or
That's-
myocarditis, then that's really strange, And there's not just him, but now there's 100 other ones, and
But
this-
is it really strange? It's tragic. It's sad. But is it really strange? Because it's always happened. It's always happened.
okay, so
So is there an uptick? Sure, there's an uptick. But are we looking to see if that uptick correlates with anything else?
Yeah.
Like with the massive amounts of energy drinks that everybody's consuming? Like they've proven 5-hour energy can cause heart attack.
oh, I'm sure if you have 20 of them a day, yeah.
No,
Dude.
it's like 2.
Bro, if I'd taken 5 of them niacins, I could have a heart attack.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like no, it's like 2 5-hour energies in a certain time period, and
You're,
yeah.
So,
If your heart's weak.
but
No, not even if your heart's weak. Not even if your heart's weak. And so these athletes, these pro athletes. So you want to know what I know about pro athletes? They've got a lot of money and a lot of time
Right.
and a lot of not caring the world because they got all this money and all this time. So you know what I know about pro athletes? They like to do recreational drugs.
No. No.
So how many of these pro athletes went on a coke binge and weakened their heart, and then when they went back to training and they went back to playing at the level that, you know what I mean, and they already had this predisposition in their family, you know what I mean? Are we looking at any of that? Are we looking? No. All we're looking at is vaccine.
But okay, so let's say you have because supposedly
Are we looking at any of the creatines, any of the supplements?
Creatine's actually next to caffeine is one of the most studied supplements in the industry.
But there's so many new supplements out, and they're just coming out.
You can't say creatine is its own thing. Like,
Well, I don't know anything about supplements,
Yeah,
so that's the one I know the name of.
Yeah, no. I mean, you can get, so creatine has actually fantastic properties with very, very minimal side effects. Can you overdose on NyQuil?
So-
You can. Can
well,
you
yeah.
overdose on,
So what's the pre-workout one that everybody's getting jacked up on and it's causing issues?
I mean,
I don't know.
There's pre-workout that if you take pre-workout and it can seriously cause an issue if you take too much of this pre-workout.
Could be C4. Fuck.
I mean, a lot of those they have so much caffeine.
Caffeine
and
is what it is.
Niacin and
Yeah,
beta-alanine and
yeah.
all that
Right,
stuff.
so that goes right back to the energy drink shit.
Oh no, yeah.
Right.
I mean, some of these
Right.
pre-workouts aren't
So
any different.
why did
No,
they ban
energy
Four
drinks.
Loco? Why did they ban Four Loco? Because it was
because-
causing heart issues.
No, because
Yes, it
fucking
was.
public fucking screamed about it.
What I was going to say was that if you had, let's say, you had a 5-year-old boy, because it supposedly affects boys worse. You had a little 5-year-old kid, and you got him vaccinated, and he goes out in the soccer field or whatever, and drops dead of a heart attack, or has a heart attack and because of myocarditis, and all this stuff's going on. Aren't you going to be a little suspect that maybe that was related?
Oh yeah, most certainly.
Yeah, so
Most certainly.
so then that will drive that parent or that person to further
Yeah.
investigate it and report it as such. So I mean,
But are they investigating it? Are they investigating
I'm
it, or
sure
are they
they
going? Or are they going out and they're going, or they're typing it into Google, and Google's going the vaccine,
right?
and so that's it. That's the end of it. The vaccine.
I think that right now that like it's still too soon to really legitimately
Absolutely.
tell. So in 10 years from now,
Yep.
I'm sure we're really going to know the truth. right now we can have our best guess.
I don't think we're ever going to know the truth.
No. I bet you in
I mean,
in 10
never
years,
gonna know the truth.
in 10 years from now, we're going to know that wearing even the N95 mask,
Right.
wearing the mask was more detrimental than not wearing a mask. You're
To
gonna
some
see,
people.
Because mental health and
right,
everything
well,
people,
else.
certainly.
and then we all found out that our breast stinks. So, but no, I mean, in 10 years we'll know if it was detrimental, not that it was. I'm going to say
Right,
if.
right.
So those studies, we don't even know what long-term COVID is going to do. Like, maybe there's long-term effects of this virus that will affect us that we won't know for 10 years. So there's so much unknown still, just like the beginning. I mean, everybody's ragging on Fauci, and rightfully so. But there was also, like, nobody knew anything. And it was, so, I mean,
Right.
you got to expect people to be wrong as well. Just playing a little devil's advocate here.
For the first couple of months, yes.
Yeah.
But they had this thing nailed down
Oh.
to the wall
No,
after like 2-3 months. They had this thing. They knew.
Yeah.
They knew it wasn't. They knew.
But
They
what
knew how
happened?
many people were actually getting severely ill from it. They knew.
Right. But what the underlying thing is right there is, what did everybody see? What is
What they put out there.
state of emergency?
Well, right.
Money,
Panic.
money.
Panic. Right. And panic.
And that's all this fucking
And-
shit was
And,
money.
and if you
It still
create,
is.
so fear releases dopamine and norepinephrine and all these other feel-good chemicals. Fear gets you high. That's why people like going on roller coasters and haunted houses, and they try to find the best haunted house to scare. You know what I mean? Because fear gets you high, and just like every other thing that causes those chemicals, because that's all drugs do. They release those chemicals. You go looking for your fix. So if your fix is the nightly news, you're going to go looking and you're going to buy into it because that's your fix. That's your drug. That's your drug of choice. And you can't get people to realize that either. Like, well, what's their motivation for doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Money.
Yeah.
Because every time you watch that TV, they get to sell ad space, and that ad space is worth this much money based on their viewers. So the more viewers, the more. So if they can get you addicted and hooked on their channel and their line of bullshit, man, you're in there. They're in there. They're just pushing. They're just drug peddlers. That's all they are.
Mm-hmm.
They're just pushing drugs. Just because you're not sticking it in your vein doesn't mean you're not getting high.
Mm-hmm.
You're not having a psychological effect. And that's the other thing about it, man. The mental health crisis that this country's going to be in now, much less because of what they did to these people.
Those kids, I'll tell you what, I feel so sorry for Sailor and all her friends for the years that they had to go.
Reading is literally behind right now
Yeah.
on a nationwide scale.
Yeah, not just the adults. The adults in their rubber spacesuits and hugging family members through plastic sheets.
Yeah, because they can't even be in the room when your relative passes away.
You can't reverse that.
No.
You can't.
No.
You can make them better, but you cannot reverse. You can't reverse that kind of trauma. Trust me, I know.
Yeah. No, and there's what's insane is that those unknowns are what will come in the next decade. Like when we see,
They're just ignoring. We're already seeing it. They're just ignoring it.
No,
They're just flat ignoring
They
it.
will ignore it. I mean, but and
They're
then
not
if you
putting
bring
it
it
out
up,
there.
if you bring it up, you're crazy.
Yeah, they're not putting it out there. So well, you kind of are crazy. They caused a massive mental health breakdown, and you know what I mean. So you kind of are crazy a little bit.
Go ahead.
All the lies. So mental problems, health breakdowns, and they've also caused an economic crisis.
Oh, yeah.
Breakdown. And
Most
so
certainly.
I mean, the whole thing.
How many people did they run into their house that are never going to come back out?
Well, absolutely.
There's people who already had the problems who didn't want to leave to begin with, and then now they're never going to leave.
Right, people that were already people that were already teetering on
Yeah.
it, and now they're never going to come out of their house again.
And that's actually a thing.
Oh, I know.
No, still a thing. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, we're in bar district on the other store, and the bars literally have seen less people because they still don't leave their house.
Yeah, they don't want to come out.
Right. And then things that we don't think about. So everything's shut down. You couldn't go anywhere, right? You couldn't go to a meeting. You couldn't go to an AA meeting. You couldn't go to an NA meeting.
Right.
And a lot of people die because they
Went
didn't
back
have
to drinking.
They went back to drinking. They went back to heroin. They went back to their drugs because they didn't have that support
I
group.
didn't even think about that.
And it was all
and they OD.
fear.
What's a there's a. Did you ever watch Boardwalk Empires?
I have seen it.
Fantastic. So Chalky White, the guy, he died from an OD. He was clean for years.
So
No
yeah.
meeting, no support.
And no meeting, no support, and all this
And-
fear.
And do you know who always works?
All this fear.
The dope man.
Yeah.
Dope man always working. Dope man's gonna get his money.
All this fear that they created, and nobody's even talking about that. So instead of talking about how bad the vaccine is, why not talk about what they've actually done to harm the health of the society? It just, the vaccine is what it is, and you're gonna have people that, oh well, it's full of poison. You're gonna have people, because all vaccines have that, right? It's full of poison. It ain't full of poison. But instead of looking at that, because even if it caused 18,000 deaths, it's such a minuscule number compared to it's 0.000003. That's what it's. I might have put not enough zeros, or maybe one too many zero in there, but it was a 3. I remember the 3, and I remember a lot of freaking zeros behind it. It's not even statistically relevant. So instead of focusing, and that's their numbers. That's the numbers they put out there. That 18,000 is being put out there by them, the people that are saying that it's killing people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's not from the pharmaceutical companies.
No, that's the numbers that's the numbers that the people are saying it's killing people. That's the number they're putting out there.
Mm-hmm.
And so but let's look at it's. I guarantee you that the mental health crisis that they've caused from all this fear, I guarantee it's killed more people. Guarantee.
Oh yeah.
Guarantee.
Yeah.
Suicides went up.
Suicides and
Yep. Suicides went up, and the people that haven't even committed suicide yet, but were affected by it and are still trying to cope. You know what I mean? We're not even done seeing the end of this, of what they created.
I mean,
so if you want to demonize them, if you want to demonize the regime, if you want to demonize the media for pushing this vaccine, demonize them for the right thing. Demonize them for the mental health crisis they caused and all the people that are going to die from it, because that's going to last for years. They created this anxiety and fear that they created in these people, their life.
Well, the problem,
rest of their life.
Yeah, the problem
until they.
Problem with that is that never gets addressed. It never gets addressed.
They won't up to it.
Yeah, people now who have mental health problems that are going out and mass murdering people, like that never gets addressed. It's so it was this caused it, but they had mental health problems. So like you said, this is causing such an uptick in this. It's crazy.
That's directly related to SSRIs. The mass shootings is directly related to SSRIs.
What's SSRI? I don't know what that is.
Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Paxil, Prozac.
Shut up, nerds.
Paxil, Prozac. Something. All of them. If it's an SSRI, they're directly related to every single
The
mass shooter.
pharmaceutical company.
They just keep your brain flooded with serotonin at all times.
Every
right?
single mass shooter had been taking SSRIs at some point. All of them. They all have it. In common.
I can't concur with the pharmaceutical company putting out something that would make it worse.
In SSRIs, let me tell you something about SSRIs, because SSRIs is my problem. SSRIs, population control, they don't need to do this. They can just sterilize you with SSRIs when you're 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
Done. So, no, it still works. It's just all dead that comes out the end of it.
Oh, really?
So, it's sterilized. It's chemical sterilization. So, if you took Paxil in the late 90s and you had a problem, Paxil, well-known side effect of Paxil is it causes men not to be able to ejaculate. It causes you not to climax. So, if you had that symptom, that you're sterile. You're sterile at this point. You maybe not 100% sterile, but you're probably shooting blanks right now. I am, and that's the only thing that could have caused it. Mm-hmm. So, because I don't take medication, I don't take. Dude, you'd be lucky to find me taking Advil if I've got a headache. I usually just go lay down. So, I usually suffer with it for as long as I have to, and then I just go lay down, pull a blanket over my head, and that's it. So I don't take anything. So, and that's the only thing that could have caused it. SSRIs cause flat effect, which means that your emotions don't work properly no more.
Oh yeah.
Like you're not ever actually happy. You know what I mean? You're not ever actually. You get only a couple survive, and they don't work right either. They build up. So like anger. If you ever see me get mad, start foaming at the mouth, it's because I've been mad for this long.
It's just over that.
And then it just suddenly said, all right, you can be mad now, and dumped it, and so now I'm overly mad. You know what I mean? So SSRIs are poison. They're absolute poison. Some people need them. Some people have to have them. Like your painter guy. I'm not going to say his name.
Okay.
It's a crazy guy. He used to come in pawn shop all the time. Come on now.
Terry.
No, painted your face out there. You got his damn art hanging on the fence outside.
Oh, right.
Jesus Christ. Does that help?
Right, yeah.
All right.
Oh, I thought you were yelling at me.
He needs them. He needs them. He needs something. He's got to be on something. You know what I mean? He can't survive without it. There's no way. You know what I mean? But some people, man, just teach them how to cope.
Yeah.
Like I haven't taken an SSRI. I have schizoaffective disorder, and I haven't taken an SSRI in 23 years. I went through a long period of time where I was unpredictable and angry all the time and easily irritable because I was trying to keep it all, you know, in order. But I finally got it under, you know what I mean? I finally got it to a point where I can function, you know what I mean? And you really wouldn't even know, you know, without drugs. Teach these people how to cope. Don't teach them to shove a pill down their throat. Teach them how to cope. Teach them how to deal with this. Because another problem with SSRIs and all that stuff is eventually you get to a level where it stops working. Because you have to go back up.
Yeah.
Eventually you build a tolerance and it stops working. And now you got all these people with a head full of fucking crazy that they don't know how to deal with. And so what happens? What happens? They rob people rob people at knife point at the gaming machine. And then they go outside and they feel bad for it. And they go back inside and apologize. The cops show up, take them to jail. True story. It happened. We know the guy.
And he's also got, I mean, you're taking those plus your recreation on those.
But the recreational is a side effect of trying to manage what he's got going on.
Oh, I'm sure.
So
Sure.
and of course there's abuse because I used to sell him my SSRIs. I used to sell him my Paxil all the time because he wanted them. He'd buy them from me, and I wanted to go buy pot. I didn't want to take these things. I wanted to go buy pot, so I'd take them. Hey, dude, he'd chew them and eat them. He liked the way they tasted.
Bro, he fucking cut open a fentanyl pack that came off my back, off my back, and then put it in his lips and fucking squeezed that shit out and fucking ate it. It was in the trash too. Like he goes, "Is that fentanyl pack?" I'm like, "Yeah, a little patch, you know, the sticky patch." This dude takes it, cuts it, fucking squeezes it out like the Go-Gurt that you were eating when you were sick.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker, fucking, then he's like,
"What's the carrier compound in there?"
I don't know, bro. Fucking Vaseline. Fuck. He didn't give a fuck, dude. He just fucking took it down.
But they, address the real issue that they've caused instead of focusing on this thing that there's probably a little bit of truth in it, right? So certainly people have gotten myocarditis, not noticed that they've had myocarditis, went out and had a heart, and you know what I mean. Certainly there's some instances where that's happened. Certainly, probably not many, probably pretty minuscule, but instead of focusing on that, focus on the actual damage that they did. Demonize them for the factual for what they actually did instead of just making something up. Because and my other problem with it is like I said before, is all these people demonizing this would have went and got their damn shot if Trump had won the election. So you're not actually demonizing it. So you're just saying if you don't want it, don't take it.
Right.
Right. It should be your choice. You don't want it, don't take it.
There should be like a whole support group of people that just ignored it. You know, that's what I do.
Why you need a support group?
Yeah, I don't know.
You'll just ignore the support group.
Well, I will.
Mike, come hang out. No,
But,
I'm good.
but yeah, it's like, meetings are on Tuesday. Oh, I'm busy. Shit.
But it just, there's so many things to be mad at them about over this thing. And the vaccine is very, very little of it.
No, I concur with that. I mean, and what's happened politically and with this country because of this whole scenario was we got so incredibly divided. You know, as you were talking,
Massively divided.
yeah, and now this is part of the repercussions of this of what the government did with this disease. So now, because you have a whole side that says we don't believe absolutely anything, which we didn't anyway. You know,
I don't believe absolutely anything either.
I mean, you have this far side and you have this far side.
Sure. I don't know how to read.
And this, they think they're a shitbag. They think they're shitbags.
Right,
and
right.
if you're in the middle, then everybody thinks you're a shitbag.
Right.
And it's
Right.
like, and you can't say anything.
Nope.
Right.
And so
You can't.
that's where we're at.
You
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
So at one point in time,
Right.
Facebook had to be confused at one point in time because here I am agreeing with this side, and here I am agreeing with this side. Both sides are attacking me.
Yeah.
And so, Facebook had to been like, he's on our side here, or do we ban him for,
Yeah.
or do we ban him for, we got to ban this guy, just what are we going to do?
The answer is yes.
Right,
You did
right.
get banned.
Well,
He's
I'm
getting banned.
And I'm
but
like,
for
you
what?
like, I can see points from both sides, and
Right.
and I can come to a conclusion in the middle somewhere.
You're an intelligent adult that did his own. You can read.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling. I keep saying that to people all the time. You can read, and what I mean you can read is you don't know what the letters sound like and what they sound like altogether. You actually can retain what you're reading.
No, see,
So-
I didn't read anything. I just didn't
So-
turn on any channels, and I hopped on the bike and I rode around and I enjoyed.
You ignored it,
I ignored it.
so you know absolutely jack shit about it.
I know
but you're
nothing.
happier
That-
for it.
that's
and
why
that's the other side of it too. You
Right.
just ignore it.
It's a
Live your
beautiful
life.
thing.
Right.
Ignorance is what? It's
Bliss.
fucking bliss.
Bliss.
And that's how I live life. Like, my taxes are due. Well, I know that, so it's sad. It's sad. But if I didn't know, then I'd be happy.
Right.
Right. Fuck.
But it's just there's so many things to focus on that they did wrong.
You got 11.
Focus
I
on.
got 1140.
Focus on it. I mean,
Gotta go.
No,
I mean,
we don't have to go.
How long
Emily's
has this
out
been
there.
going?
Emily's out
Hour and a
there.
half. No, she's gone.
No, she came back.
She's
I
back.
watched her.
I see her walking around out there. Emily's out there. She knows how to do things.
Right, better than us.
I just, but they want to pick apart the VAERS data. Do you know anything about VAERS?
Yeah.
So no matter what, so if I get the shot and I stub my toe and I go to the hospital, they have to put that in the VAERS data.
That you had your shot.
That I stubbed my toe after getting the shot.
You
It
probably
has
had a
to go in
small
the,
hair. You probably had a little heart attack.
but it has to
Blanked
go in
out
the VAERS
and
data.
stumbled.
It has to go in the VAERS data, even if it's unrelated. If you get your shot within a certain time period, you have another hospital visit or another doctor visit and complaining of something, they have to put that in the VAERS data. It has to go in.
That should not be.
It has
So
I had the shot, and then I ate bad gas station tofu or whatever, sushi, and now I'm throwing up. They have to put that in the VAERS data. They have to.
so.
And these people are taking that VAERS data without explaining
Oh,
it
sure.
to nobody, and they're going, look at all these things it causes.
Well, yeah, I mean, and those
No.
statisticians are wizards. You can turn anything into anything. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
test it.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
especially when you ignore most of it. You know what I mean? That's like polling. They're basically polling, and all polling does is ignore one complete side of it so that they can get the results they want. I've never seen so much ignorance and willful stupidity in my life. And the internet's detrimental to our existence.
Oh,
I'm telling you right
absolutely.
now. I think they should have ended it in '99. They should have just left it alone.
Should have just been a fad.
Yeah, they should. Well, no, they should have ended it in '99. In '99, you had, in order to go on Google and Google anything, you had to log onto this website. You had to go through the process of dial-up, and then you had to go here, right? And then you had to go here to this Metacrawler engine, and then from that Metacrawler engine, you could go to your actual search engine, and you had to go through all these. So you actually had to want to know something.
Right.
You actually had to want to know.
I wasn't
Before-
doing it. I wasn't
right.
doing it then either.
Right, before But instead of now, you don't have to want to know. They're just force feeding it to you. Everybody is force feeding their opinion to you, whether it's right or wrong. So, and everybody's got a forum. Everybody's got a website. Everybody's got a YouTube page. Everybody's got a blog. Everybody's got
a fucking opinion.
Everybody's got a TikTok. Everybody's got a...
I don't know how people have the time to manage all those apps and do all that shit. I just don't understand it. I guess they don't have anything else to do.
Well, they get paid
or they have a job to sit there and they can
Right,
just
right.
jack off all day.
That's coming from a guy who gets paid for it. Excuse me.
Who? Oh, me? No.
It's coming from an influencer. You need to influence some page hits on our YouTube page there, bud.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you need to influence
How many views or like how many likes and stuff
before you
no before like you
beat
get like paid get like
Oh.
revenue like paid revenue and stuff.
4,000 viewing hours, something like that, and 1,000 followers, and then they start thinking about giving you
Subscribers.
money. Yeah, 1,000 subscribers.
Then they
start thinking.
Then you
thinking about giving you
then
money.
you can be entered into
Right.
monetization.
Then what they do is they go through and they look at all your content somehow. I don't know how, but they go through and look at all your content, and then in our case they go, yeah, no.
Right. 'Cause we've literally said like C4, pipe bombs, grenades, grenade launcher.
Right.
Yeah, Scott from Price Armor completely ruined our monetization.
Monetization.
Yeah.
As if saying fuck every fucking
Right.
50 seconds isn't going to do it.
Oh,
for
remember
us.
when we first started? We're like, all right, we're not
We
going
were
to
trying.
swear.
Yeah, we were trying.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh man, we've said it. you
Now we're
know?
just crossing our fingers that we grow organically and good enough that Spotify will pick us up.
And you know what?
Can you just not make a Spotify like your own?
Oh,
no, we
can.
can. We can
throw it
make
on there.
Patreon. We can make a website and throw it on the website.
All we
we
need
can
to do
all
is
kinds of
host it.
things.
It's
Yeah.
just a fucking nightmare. I can't even get shit fucking to sell on my website.
Can I help decorate this room?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Please do,
Right.
because it looks like
What are you talking about, man?
it looks like the terrorists just threw up some art for
Right.
us. Before, so
Fucking-
we got something to look at when they
Right.
cut our heads off.
Saddam fucking put up some art to fuck with your brain
Right,
before
right.
you cut your head off.
Right.
Well, this is it.
Listen,
Right.
Thank you, man.
Right.
What is that supposed to?
Right. That's what you look at right before the end.
Right.
Oh, hey, next week we should talk about Chinese weather balloons. Yeah, man.
That's nonsense.
What?
Too.
So funny thing, just real quick on it, right?
Nonsense,
So it was
too.
fun. It was just cruising around, whatever it was.
I like the memes. The memes are good.
Oh, the memes are great. I like the car insurance. We're trying to, or your extended car warranty. We're trying to reach you with your car's extended warranty. But
just trying to find out how many people they missed.
right. So they, but yeah, there was a second balloon in the grassy knoll. Do you guys know? Well, not
What?
the grassy knoll, but there was a second balloon. It literally was articles. It was flying over Latin America,
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
and you never hear anything else again.
Yeah. Well, nobody cares about Latin America.
Isn't that something?
What,
Where
the
does that-
Chinese are going to fly over Mexico and be like, "Oh shit, there's a lot of cocaine down there, but we don't want to screw with these people."
But I just thought it was kind of interesting how
They've got independent small
The
armies.
Nazis down there shot that one down.
yeah. I'm going to tell you if
The what?
if my
What
name is
did?
The
if,
Nazis.
if
in
if
Latin
my
America.
if my name is Pablo and I'm on top of a mountain and somebody's trying to spy on me and I have an operation that I don't want anybody knowing
Right,
about,
right.
That
That
motherfucker
son of a bitch
came
coming down.
Yeah,
It's coming down.
I guarantee a
They
rocket
have
launcher will
hardware
make it.
that's insane down there.
Oh,
the
dude, bro.
military prowess down there.
Oh,
The-
dude,
The balloon has completed its mission. All right, let's shoot it down.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's the U.S. plan.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to damage anything in Montana. What, trees?
Yeah. What did they get pictures of? Really?
I mean,
really.
And,
what did they get
it's
pictures of?
it's such old technology. Do you think literally they're spying on us here? They,
Right. Oh yeah.
They
Every
do not
person-
need
yeah,
a goddamn
yeah,
balloon
yeah.
floating around. That thing was probably from the 80s or something.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I seen too. Oh no, the Chinese are spying on. It's a TikTok. Oh no, the Chinese are spying on our
right.
on our population.
Right.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier about that. That's what I was reading. Somebody was saying that it could be used as a transport for an EMP.
Oh.
Well,
Okay.
just drop it, maybe. Just drop it.
Yeah.
Dude, we would benefit from that.
Fuck, man, that would be so great.
We would benefit from an EMP.
How much time would we have in our fucking...
I'm telling you right now that technology should end. It peaked in the 90s. And it should have ended in the 90s.
I don't know, man. My car drives itself now.
Yeah, it peaked in the 90s and should have ended in the 90s.
That's fine.
That was the golden era. Right at
All
the
these
end,
kids would
right at
lose
the
their
end where
fucking
you had a
minds.
cell phone, but it didn't do nothing but make a goddamn
Yeah.
phone call, and you didn't want to make the goddamn phone call because it cost too much fucking money.
Right.
After 7.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's right.
Right.
Remember, 7 was,
Right.
That was
Off
peak.
peak, off
magic,
yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and which turned into peak.
Well, we just started to, we just stole everybody else's cell phones so that way it wasn't on our bill.
Right. So that was. I mean, some things maybe bring back to that time. You know what I mean? But for the most part,
Could you
man,
imagine,
it peaked
man?
in 90. It peaked in the 90s.
So we
should have just left it the fuck alone.
We got a cool glimpse about going back in time when COVID first started. You know, like where,
Right.
it was like you had to actually have good mental health on your own.
Right.
Like you had to fucking be you and be okay with you. And if you weren't, you had to work on you.
Right.
You know, instead of like looking for validation here, you had to do it on your own. I did. Like, I didn't care about the internet. Hell, I couldn't post anything because I was breaking all the laws. So, I kind of got rid of this because of that. I mean, I posted on TikTok because I wanted China to know how good their shit was doing. I was acting like it didn't. I was cleaning the fucking windows here.
I can't say that it didn't have a positive effect for me because I'm working harder now to get rid of my anxiety than I ever did before.
Which
and
made
I
you
always
face-
had it before.
Which
so,
made you, I mean, this...
made me realize that, dude, this has to go.
Right.
Either it has to go or I gotta go. One
Right.
of the two.
Well,
Because
and
I
I
can't
mean-
live like this no more.
And there's how many people are in that scenario of you where they went, my mental health's not right. This disease and this scare tactic has changed that, and now they are for the betterment. You'll never see
Right.
those stats because it's not
Right.
it's not trackable.
Right.
You just expect it to be normal.
Right.
So, I mean, there's if you look at some of the positives, like I enjoyed my time when the world was out, man. I mean, everybody checked out.
I wish I hadn't had a nervous breakdown because I would have loved it too.
Yeah,
I mean,
no, yeah,
I
I-
absolutely would have loved it.
Well, I was
nobody
post-
on the roads.
I was posting videos for you, so
Right. Nobody
yeah.
on the roads, man. I'd have been out doing donuts.
Oh, God
Yeah,
damn it!
Xterra.
I'm gonna tell you. Oh man, no, you wouldn't have because you tried to do that burnout. And
Oh,
that whole axle was fucking.
Yeah, I'd have figured it out.
Man, I always looked forward to that, seeing you guys' burnout videos. man.
Right. Well, you know what? That was my goal, was to put something out there that was not the narrative that was so overplayed. It was just like, man, if
Burnouts kill COVID.
right. And it made a bunch of people smile.
Right. And it made a bunch of people really, really angry.
It made a few super mad, but the rest of them, the people on the internet, I gave them something to smile. I'll never forget. I don't even know if I can say, but he didn't have a driver's license. He backs out, and you and I both know him. We go get metal from him, and he stops, and he does his burnout, and he's in reverse. Absolutely my favorite burnout of the whole entire episode. That whole chapter of burnouts. And it was funny because people saw that, and they rather, even if they're like, not a car person, they still saw it and they're like, look at these kids having fun,
Look at these dumbasses.
Well, right. Look at these dumbasses. But, like even the police came and they would watch. They're not mad, bro. They're like, everybody's bored out of their fucking mind.
Right.
I can't be bored.
Thanks for giving us a call that we can actually go to.
Right. So I miss those, and with somebody brought that up again.
Could you imagine if this would have happened when we were kids, though? The shit we would have got into, because...
Oh, yeah. Nobody nowhere?
No.
Oh, dude, we were broken into everything.
Yeah, right. I know, because we were everywhere doing
We'd be rich as
right.
fuck right
with
now.
people there, we were doing that shit, and like these kids now, like they're on their phones and shit the whole time, playing video games.
Yeah, they didn't know the world
Right.
shut
They
down.
don't know.
The surveillance
Yeah.
wasn't as good.
Oh, yeah, bro.
Wasn't there nobody taking pictures of
No.
us doing
Bro,
dude,
I'd
we would have
be-
broke into so many things.
It would have been amazing.
Man,
Oh,
I've been awesome. I'd been so good at tagging.
Right.
Like I would have perfected
Right.
that shit over the course of a year of being shut down, bro, man, it'd look like Picasso out there on the side of a building.
Right.
Right.
and then the targeted shutdowns too. I mean, that's what a lot of people look at when they think about the shutdowns, was the targeted ones. Like they shut that lady's restaurant down and wouldn't let her work, but they were letting people do whatever in her parking lot.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't let her open her damn business.
I was really worried about that because they never said, for me specifically, for quite a while, that I could be open. They said, doctors could be, they said medical doctors could be open, and I'm like, well, I mean, I'm going to be open.
A lot of people, a lot of businesses, like corporations that don't give a shit about their employees, took advantage of, well, I fall under this category. You don't, but I guess you can say you do, huh?
Right. Yeah.
I'm the banking industry. No, you're a predatory loan company. You're not the banking.
No,
industry.
Right. Yeah, you're charging 400% a year, pal. You're not needed. And it was fun for me to watch the financial side of it unfold. That was the most, for me to watch. Like, we're just gonna give you money, and we're gonna give you more money. We're gonna give you more money, and I'm like the whole time going, when are we gonna pay this money back?
Right, but it doesn't right now. But
Currently,
it doesn't.
We
But
are
it
starting
doesn't,
to pay this money back. Right
But it
now.
doesn't matter because they were going to take that money anyway. So you might as well get your small chunk of it.
No.
They were going to do it
I'm
anyway.
with that on a small scale, but so trillions of dollars were spent, trillions on this emergency that we had.
Give me free money anytime.
This is why it was created, to get this money.
Well, yeah, it was all a big. So that these corporations could take advantage of, and then they milked it all the way into the election.
Oh, absolutely.
And then they,
there was somebody famous who said, "I'll never, and I'm gonna butcher it, but it's with every crisis,
There's an opportunity.
There's an opportunity."
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
certainly.
so, I mean, and everybody saw this. This was our war.
Carpetbaggers, man.
Right. This was our war. Like when we went into World War One, and World War Two, that was jobs. Everybody was needed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, now we don't.
Nobody's needed.
Our wars are no one's needed. I mean, we can literally I can fly a jet from here and bomb fucking somewhere else. But so this was the opportunity to cash in for the country, for the governments. This is why fucking Barney Rubble was on TV every day talking about how bad it was. Mm-hmm. And the whole time I'm like, and people were locked in. 2 p.m. 2 p.m. He's going to tell us how bad it is.
Yeah.
Why
The death counter and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you fucking need to know this?
Absolute nonsense, dude. Absolute lie. Absolute lies.
The difference, now compared to World War II is that crisis. Then everybody was on the same page. Everybody was suffering, but everybody joined together.
Yeah, fight the Red Army.
But I think that was part of the plan. If this was all organized, I think that was to get this country, because you have to have a common enemy.
Yeah.
So now we don't like China because they gave us this fucking disease.
It was organized,
but it didn't work that way.
It did not. It backfired.
It was organized to an extent. I mean, it wasn't. They didn't release it so that they could do all this planning.
I concur with that.
But here it is.
Yeah.
Let's figure out how to manipulate
we're gonna,
it.
We're going to seize this opportunity.
Right.
This crisis.
And then
it
was organized in that manner.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
somebody sat there and went, "Okay, this is happening. Here's all the medical information. But if we do this,
right,
we can print our own money,
right,
and we can fucking do."
Here's all the medical information, and it's all out there. But these dummies aren't going to look at it. They're going to look at whatever we print on as our headline, the big bold lettering, because it's all the stupid fucks read anyway.
Right.
And that's like 90% of the population. So we'll have all this control to do whatever the fuck we want. But literally, print money, sell drugs, whatever we want.
I feel as a test just to see how much closer we can get to idiocracy. Stay in your house.
We're there.
Stay in your fucking house.
Go away, Baton.
Right. Go away, Biden.
So if there wasn't, because obviously the lies that were created and everything else, that created pushback against the virus.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of that began with the fact that half the population hates fucking Trump, and he was like China virus, right?
So not half the population, but a good portion.
But I mean a lot of people,
You pretty much say half.
See,
you can divide that.
I think they did it. I think they did it not to try and bring us. I think they did it to create more division, because that's the way, because they sold it as more division.
Yeah.
They purposely created more division. They purposely polarized this aspect over here and then polarized this aspect over here, and then using both those aspects went to attacking each other, because that I think they, the reason I think they did that, and I'm going to blame it on the Democrats. I am. I'm not politically affiliated in any way. Listen, you give me a good candidate, and I'll vote for him. I don't give a shit if he's a donkey or an elephant. You give me somebody worthwhile. You know what I mean?
My candidacy for the presidency.
But I'm gonna blame the Democrats on this one, because I think they did it because they knew they needed Trump out of there so freaking badly that they knew the only way to do it was to cause so much division and hatred and anger towards one another that they could throw this massive Hail Mary and get away with it. And that's exactly what they did. Well, they don't cheat. They've been cheating since Nixon, and probably before, but Nixon was just our first example. Just the first time they told us they were cheating.
I'm going to tell you, in the 20s, there was guys that would sit outside with baseball bats.
Yeah.
And you voted the right way because you got your fucking legs broke if you didn't.
Yep.
You know, so I'm telling you.
Gangs in New York. Watch that movie, Gangs in New York.
How many times you voted today?
Right.
Right.
6. Get back in
the fucking line.
Right.
So
and there's a guy with a meat cleaver, but that cuts people up. You know what I mean?
Right. But this is what has happened, especially in that election. To me, is just the new version of that.
Right. Oh yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is.
But
they wouldn't have been able to get away with. They wouldn't have been able to get away with it if they hadn't caused. And again, they didn't create it, but they just took the opportunity so that they could do that. Yeah.
And then
they could do that.
I think it just kind of snowballed a little too much, and they all just went, "Oh, hey, we got to ride this out. We started this shit."
Well, you can't. Well, once he was in, once
not
Brandon
that,
was
but
in,
just in
they
general.
couldn't just end it.
No.
They spent too much time selling it as this big catastrophe.
Well, so do you know it ends this year, right?
What?
COVID ends this year.
Oh, it does?
Yeah. So,
what's coming next?
Well, no, it's going to end this year, meaning all the extra funding.
Oh, yeah.
Is going to end this year, so COVID ends this year. Because once the money dries up, nobody cares.
Well, nobody's cared anymore anyway.
Right, but some of the people still getting more money.
But you notice that it sharply dropped off in the news, like sharply dropped off, because
what is it now?
It attenuated.
What is it now? Nothing.
Version B 2.6, 3, 4, 5, 8, 10, 12, whatever.
Again, I don't watch anything.
Whatever they call it.
I
don't know which one they're on.
Do you know what I like? I like watching guinea pigs run around a farm. It's fucking. Dude, that's so satisfying.
I quit paying attention when they admitted that Omicron had attenuated and was way less severe. That's when I quit paying attention, because I was like, it was about time. Because I noticed this way back in whatever the last version before you started calling it Omicron was. I noticed that it was attenuated.
So I got the Decepticon. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. I was a female.
For 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks.
For 2 weeks, and then my immune system tackled it.
Right. Shit, my innie became an outie, and then I'm back to where I started. Fuck. All right. Let's wrap this up. It's almost. It's just
all right.
noon.
All right. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Moral of the story is just get fucking healthy. Go get in the cryo chamber. Go get adjusted. Take some fucking good supplements.
Right.
You're gonna run a special on the crowd.
Exercise.
Yeah, really. Go for a fucking walk.
Get outside, get some sunshine.
Right, go outside, go to the gym.
Go walk somewhere.
That was the other thing that was amazing about it, just real quick, is people wouldn't even go outside.
Yeah, that was
you can
so
go
funny.
outside.
Oh, bro, you were frowned upon if you went outside.
You can go in your yard.
You could go anywhere the fuck you want.
Go for a walk down the
Picking
street.
outside like that.
Right. Man, is Cheryl outside? Oh,
Right,
shit,
right.
I'm documenting this. She's
Right,
spreading
right.
this shit around.
Right.
Get the fuck out of here.
That's the other thing that was idiotic.
Oh, dude,
so
it was
strange.
hilarious.
So strange.
I thought, dude, it was all comical to me. That shit was
so
fucking
strange.
funny.
So.
All right, let's wrap this up. Like, share, subscribe. Tell us how you did in COVID. You stay in.
Nobody. Drew, let me ask you that real quick.
Yeah.
Just because we never end this when we say we're going to.
Yeah, no
we always
shit.
go longer.
Yeah.
Jeez.
How do you get these people to participate? I've been trying so hard to like
get
on the new business page, trying to get people to participate.
Right.
It won't freaking participate.
Oh, it's because you're not paying Facebook, dude. We're not paying for sponsorship.
Man, but we got enough followers that some people should be participating and sharing and
So-
so on and so forth.
yeah, but,
They're
you
not
know-
participating.
So like the post yesterday. So I didn't even see that you posted that about the
No, you
car.
won't.
I didn't see it at all. Last night at 11:30, somehow,
It showed up in
because
the
you
feed.
shared it.
Yeah, probably.
He shared it. I saw it. So I
yeah,
shared
but I
it.
shared it. You
But-
shared it.
Well, yeah, but I shared it later in the day, so because that way it would. So it's all.
There's
so
optimal times to share.
Oh.
there is.
And-
There's time. There's optimum times to actually upload. There's optimum
Yeah.
time. The algorithm is so fucking scientific. Like it is a fucking.
It'll even so like I mean if you have a business page, did you see on there when you upload your post, it'll say if you go to schedule it,
Right.
it'll tell you based on your follow or interaction, these are the times that you should post.
Yeah.
And you can schedule it to be at that time. That'll give you the
But it-
optimum views.
It can't know that right now. It's like 3 days old.
I
Well,
know,
no, yeah,
but
in
as
the
it
future.
goes, it'll change.
Yeah,
it'll keep changing.
it'll show me mine on like the business pages that have been set up for a while.
So then you could schedule it to post at those times at first, and then it'll change. But you need to get as many people as you can to share it. So that's
Right,
you know,
right.
that's why I share it.
Especially in the beginning.
And
How do you get them to participate? Like I can't get people to comment in the comments.
Well, because there's only 5 people watching.
I mean,
Then they have to register.
Comment.
They got to remember their password. I mean, there's a lot.
And
of
so
fucking
here's the
work
thing. So,
involved.
okay, so I don't know how the YouTube
Hit the like button.
The videos work. If somebody watches it for 5 minutes, does that count as a view, or do they have to watch the entire?
do they,
episode?
no, they
It's,
can watch it for 2 minutes, but they only record that. But only that 2 minutes goes towards your view hour. It doesn't like if they watch it for 2 minutes, it adds up those 2 minutes, and then those
Okay.
2
Yeah,
minutes
the
go
viewing,
towards your view hour.
yeah.
So your
Doesn't
analytic
say-
page shows you
Yeah.
how long they watched it, and
Right,
everything else.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we know
and nobody
that,
ever watches over 14 minutes.
which is pretty
But-
long actually.
But see, I don't think that's true either because
But you can
I
fast
know for
forward
a
and-
fact that some people that watch the entire video,
Yeah.
but it only shows. I think that's an average.
And yeah,
So,
it's got to be an average because we know there's certain people that watch it from beginning to end.
yeah.
So and then, but the
Not Andy. Andy ain't been watching it at all.
I know we've been talking to that motherfucker for weeks and he's not even
Fucking
watching.
Andy, man.
He called me though the other day. He's gonna get back on it. But you know, there's we don't do clickbait. First off,
Well, right.
we don't do a ton of tags. We're not there to try to get the
I'm
dollar.
Still,
We're
I'm
just
still
putting
trying
out
to figure out tags.
we're just putting out a quality worst cigar podcast on YouTube. That's all.
Right.
That's all.
And you've not even been posting the pictures online.
I just caught up last week and I went ahead and got early on this week's.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
decorate the fuck out of this motherfucker in here.
Yeah, you can.
Make it beautiful.
Whatever. Butthole pictures everywhere.
Butthole pictures everywhere.
All right, like, share, subscribe. Figure out your password. Log in. You know I can't hit like when I watch a YouTube video unless I log in.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So I mean, that's why I'm just giving everybody that watches, all 5 people, the
Right.
benefit of the doubt.
I'll get
So-
Joe Rogan to share, and then we'll get.
Yeah, can you?
Yeah,
That'd be
there
great.
you go. There you go.
Let's all wear dick skins one day. See if
we
Danny
can-
will share it.
We can see if he'll have us on his show to talk about aliens.
That'd be rad.
Can we all fucking superdose on mushrooms and go? in
You
there?
guys can. I'm not.
Yeah, I think you
I
should.
mean, he would join too.
Well, I know. I bet. You know, that's when you
Talk
make
about
it.
aliens.
Whenever fucking Rogan. So you need to somehow tag Rogan. So
Right.
that's how you know you made it. When Rogan
Right.
fucking knows about you.
Well, you've said
He
his name
smokes
4
cigars.
times,
Like,
so.
know.
send him the coolest cigars you can think of.
Mine, motherfucker.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
cigars.
Yes.
Right?
That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Somebody was directly handed a cigar and he's never mentioned it, not once.
Who was that?
Freiberger.
Oh, yeah, he didn't. Yeah, he probably smoked it and didn't even think about it.
Right.
I'm gonna go punch him in his
Probably.
fucking mouth. You know what? I'm just gonna build a car that beats theirs. That's,
Right,
That's
right.
what it is.
Right.
All right, let's get off here because I gotta pee again. Too much water.
You get people in your small bladders.
Like, share, subscribe. Thanks.